Welcome everybody. Thank you guys for tuning in. Today we are going to be cooking Armarouge Box. This is the second episode. Last week we cooked some theory before we even got Black Bolt and White Flare in PTCG Live. So we were cooking what looks promising and what doesn't look so promising. I am joined by some very special guests from the Armarouge Army Discord. If you guys want to introduce yourself, go ahead, Jay.
Hi, I'm Jay.
That is Jay. And Icarus, if you want to introduce yourself, go ahead.
Do I also go with the nonchalant gimmick? Yellow Icarus or David, it's probably easier in a conversation. Been playing this deck for, I don't know, 2 months at this point, and I really want to see it go to 8 here. That's why I'm here. That's why I'm testing. That's the goal.
Yeah, and you're joining us from Switzerland, right? It's 2 a.m.
From
for you?
Netherlands.
Netherlands.
Netherlands,
Woo!
yeah, 2 a.m.
Today we're going to be talking about these topics of discussion. The first topic of discussion is Prism Energy
Damn,
Whoa!
has
crazy.
finally been unvaulted. Thank you guys. Thank you. I'm a real streamer now. Um, Luminous has been jailed. Unfortunately, it has been caught of committing some pretty horrific crimes, and that's making our deck an absolute piece of shit. Prism Energy is here. It's here to save the day, and it's been influencing how our deck functions pretty well. How do you guys feel about Prism Energy?
I don't know how I've been playing Luminous until now.
Yeah, actually same, oh my god, Prism just makes the deck flow so much better. I don't know if this is like a mental thing, but it just makes it feel like I always have energy on board. It's incredible.
Yeah, and attaching a prism for turn already makes that turn pretty decent. Like just getting that one prism in play already feels good.
Yep. So yeah, this is a pretty big deal for anybody who doesn't know. Luminous made us pretty limited on the attacker pool that we were able to play with this deck because they don't stack. So we were forced to only play with attackers that will only need one rainbow and the rest colorless, which we'll go ahead and show you what those are later. But now we are able to play with Pokemon that require multiple rainbow energies, such as Roaring Moon, Iron Leaves. Whether those are any good, we'll get to it later. But Prism Energy giving us a lot more options and a lot more flexibility. So it's just something important to point out as we go into this because we've only had it for a day. So a lot of this cooking is very very early. So there will probably still be a lot of theory, things we still want to try out. So yeah, Prism Energy is here. That's exciting for everybody. The next big point of discussion, we want to give a big shout out to another Discord homie, and that is Nixia. She was able to get top 16, top cut at the Gabe Smart 1K earlier this week, and she did it with the Luminous. It didn't stop her. She didn't even need the Prism Energy. The Luminous was enough to get her. I don't actually think that was in cash pricing, right? But she was able to make ASIM, where unfortunately she lost to the second place Ogre Pawn list, but it was still super cool to see.
She hit like a lot of bad matchups, especially with the Grimmsnarl, so that was really impressive to see. There was also a really funny moment when she just donked an Ethan's Typhlosion, which can be a little bit of an iffy matchup if they do get set up, which is really cool. And it was also really nice to see the Chi-Yu in the deck, where I think she hit 3 Gholdengos, so it always just provided really good value. So that was really cool as well.
Yeah, and again, I think it's insane doing this with Luminous. Shows that the deck can actually do very well. And now with Prism and with like more testing and everything, this should become like closer to the average of the results, right? If this is possible while missing one of our best cards, then the sky's the limit with an actual deck.
And for anybody confused why we're saying Nixia, that's because that's her name on Discord. But here on Limitless, her username is Frogger27. So you'll see right here, 11th place, outplacing the notorious hater Supreme himself, All Out Blitzel, sitting there at a shameful 16th place. So sad. So
That's
sad.
crazy.
So yeah, I just wanted to shout out Nixia because it's super cool. You know, this is probably the most impressive run that we've seen from Armarouge Box thus far. And she did it with my list with one big change, and it is a change that I wish I would have made before the tournament because I went 1-3 drop because I was short energy. And she called me out. She said that it's crazy, and she put the energy retrieval in place of a stretcher, which it's only one energy difference, but obviously it made a big impact because it was a card that I wish I had. So a big shout out to Nixia. A lot of actually content creators. Trust Your Pilot played the deck on stream, but I know he played it before. LDF played it on stream. So Azul picked up the deck today on stream, played it for a couple of hours, and immediately started going in on some pretty crazy changes. The first one, he wanted to cut Reshiram, but he didn't end up doing it. But where he really went kind of buck wild is cutting the boss's orders from the list. And my head wanted to explode because obviously our deck wants to, be able to keep up with the prize race, but he said, well, we're either killing what's in the active or we have Iron Bundle to kill something else on the bench. And he saw a lot of success. Jay, you were watching live. How are you interpreting everything that was going on Azul stream?
I mean, I don't know if this is just player dev, but like he was, as you know, like seeing a lot of success on stream and just winning every single matchup known to man, other than him completely bricking. I mean, this is like taking one of the philosophies I had to an extreme, where I used to play 3 boss, and I was like, wow, I really don't use boss's orders that much. I'd rather just play Iona or research. And so I went to 2 boss, and it felt fine because I get more consistency cards. Like my restarts hit a little bit harder. Like just seeing that one extra card really helps with this deck. But having no boss is really, really scary in my opinion. Just for the Grimmsnarl matchup when they set up a double Grimmsnarl, but like maybe it's fine. So I'm happy to like try this out with this no boss list and really try to get into see how many boss we actually need.
For me, more than the Grimmsnarl matchup, I think the Gardy matchup becomes very awkward without bosses because they play. There's always at least 2 Monkey in play, right? So bundle a Monkey out of active into another Monkey does nothing. So when I saw boss removals, I thought immediately of the Gardy matchup, which is not fantastic for us, or not until now with Moon and stuff. And I thought that in early game, getting a boss to get 2 Ralts or Curlia, or even just putting the Monkey Dory on the bench and then 120 to kill it is so strong against Gardy. And the second reason that's very questionable for me is that I don't think he got very much out of it. Because taking out 2 bosses is 2 deck slots. Those 2 deck slots do not add that much consistency to the deck. Because obviously we cannot play a 5th Research or a 5th Nest Ball, right? So
Who's stopping us?
I think boss in there is quite good. I would be down to test some more of one boss, one Pulpad, since I think Pulpad is a phenomenal card.
One thing that I thought about, you said the Gardy matchup. Something else in the Gardy matchup is that Gardys are playing Klefki, and it looks like it's pretty standard right now for them to play Klefki, and Klefki really ruins our setup. If they are able to start evoing with the Klefki in the active while we're sitting there only doing manual attachments for a couple of turns, like we could be in a really bad spot. It shuts off our Latias, it shuts off our bundle, it shuts off Ho-Oh, most importantly. Obviously, it leaves Armarouge active because it's not a basic, but that was another concern. So I'm curious if this no boss build has merit going forward. I would be really interested to find out how it fares into Gardy, because from my testing, having the Roaring Moon now, and we'll get back into this later, Roaring Moon now makes the Gardevoir matchup go from very sketch to even slightly favored. That might be, that might be jumping the gun a little bit, but it has felt slightly favored. I don't think I've lost to Gardy since putting Roaring Moon in my list. Part of that has been being able to boss around this Klefki. So I'm curious to see where this no boss sort of interpretation from Azul goes. If you're someone who values consistency and you're gonna say, hey, I'll take the L if Klefki, but for the most part, I value being able to do what I want most of the time, then this might be something to try out. Do you guys plan on testing this sort of build at all?
I mean, I definitely plan to test it. I tried to test as many builds as possible, like 5 to 10 games each, just to see how they feel. The thing with Klefki though is that it doesn't really happen if you go first, where they have to have Klefki in the active exactly before we set up. So that one is a little iffy, and I don't really want to use boss as my supporter for turn either. So not sure. I definitely will be testing this. I do want to see how it goes because it does open up some lines of consistency and maybe some other tech cards, which I personally like having in.
As Jay said, I think everything is going to end up being tested, and it's quite important that we acknowledge that Azul is a very good player, right? Obviously. So he has deck builded before, he has tried things before, he knows stuff. So we cannot instantly say, nah, that's really bad, obviously. So there is some merit to him and to testing it for sure.
Sweet. And I saw that we were just joined by the one and only Paradox, the only. What's going on,
What's
man?
up?
Can you
What's
hear me?
up? I go by Paradox the only online, but my real name's Eduardo. I've been playing Pokemon for about a year and a half. For the majority of that time, all I've been doing is playing Armarouge, starting with Arceus Armarouge, and now obviously Ho Armarouge. So outside of that, Armarouge is my favorite Pokemon, so that's kind of why I'm committed to him.
Sweet. Okay. So yeah, well, let's move on from Azul's monstrosity um, to this next thing. So the meta discussion. So this is we'll talk a little bit general, and then we'll talk a little bit more about how it affects us. But the meta has undergone some pretty substantial shifts since Black and White came out. I would say I'm not alone in saying that perhaps the most notable is the rise of Gholdengo. I don't think
Yep.
anyone anticipated Gholdengo being such a powerhouse. Um, I did the second that my friend started testing it, playing against me. I was like, how is this? Like, this seems so unfair. Genesect is insanely powerful. And so I guess other people recognize that because now Gholdengo, based off online play, is the number one share meta deck. And from the tournament, I mean, win percentage, that might be a little bit scuffed all around. But as far as share goes, 12% Gholdengo. What do you guys think about the rise of Gholdengo?
I
Yeah, it's
think
a fraud deck.
it's it.
That,
I think it's
that means we're
crazy how
eating, boys. That means we're eating.
yeah. I'm happy with it going up, obviously, since we play a fire deck, but I think it's absolutely insane how consistent this deck is. It's you could probably just imagine a game of Gholdengo and know exactly the things you're gonna have on your board, turn 2 or 3, and pretty much never whiff on them. It's crazy what it's like Miraidon, right? It's steel type Miraidon, except Gholdengo also draws itself, like draws a shit ton of cards, right? So it's the consistency is what puts it on top for sure.
Yeah. So Jay, you think it's a fraud. Icarus, you're respecting it. Paradox, do you have any thoughts?
No, I mean it's for sure a legit deck. It's just, I mean, if we're talking about from our perspective, it's a great matchup for us because you basically just set up as many targets as you can and you loop Chiyu.
Yeah, I think Dango's biggest weakness is that it's a deck. I think we spoke about this earlier before today. It's a deck that's quite easy to tech for. It's
Yeah.
it's it's quite straightforward. Steel type is not fantastic, right? Chiyu is insane, so it's quite easy to tech for it in a lot of decks, which is why this 12%, 13% might fade off a bit after like the new toys effect. It's the new shiny thing. It might go down a bit in like a few weeks, but still, I think the deck is really strong.
For sure, I think at this point, 3 weeks away from Worlds, we can be pretty certain that a lot of pro players are currently putting in the practice to make this their Worlds pick. So I think Gholdengo
Yep.
is something that needs to be respected for sure, and it's something that we are prepared for. And whether or not, would you guys say we are favored into Gholdengo?
With Chiyu, absolutely. It's like
Yeah.
Paradox said, looping Chiyu is one of the easiest thing for our deck because you accelerate to energy pretty much every turn. You have 4 stretchers. Like looping Chiyu is we're probably one of the best decks to loop Chiyu because we do it better than Charizard, obviously, and yeah, we have the fire energy, we have everything.
It's one of those things that as long as we don't open a two prizer, and even if we do, we can give up 3 prizes, and as long as you can establish double armor, you basically try not to establish any more two prizes after that.
Chiyu is an incredibly powerful tech option, super super low maintenance, and it just forces them to have more, and that's always a good thing to do. But with 4 gusts and all that draw power, now that it has air balloon, and then Fez, and then the ability to thin with Genesect, sometimes it does fall a little short, but I agree, definitely we are favored into that matchup. Let's move on down to Grimmsnarl. Um, Go ahead.
Oh
Somebody take the
boy.
wheel. Somebody take the wheel here.
Yeah, I think this is Jay's no. This is
Yeah.
Jay's time to yap.
This is personally my favorite matchup.
Okay.
Even if it is unfavored, and even though that Grimmsnarl has literally every tool to deal with our deck, um, it's a really fun one for me. Personally, I think, as I said, it is unfavored. But we do have lines against it, where I think like if we go second and we can insta like charge an Iron Hands up, basically thinking as in like we copy like Joltik's way of trying to beat Grimmsnarl, which is Iron Hands, Iron Hands, Iron Leaves, or Iron Hands, Iron Leaves, Galvantula, stuff like that. We do have similar lines now, which opened up with Reshiram, which is really, really cool.
Mm-hmm.
And another thing that we can do is we can use like Wellspring to start chasing down the Frostlasses. And we also have this legacy idea that can completely shut off their prize trade. So it's a really dynamic matchup in both ways, where Grimmsnarl has a lot of tools to deal with our stuff. We have a lot of tools to deal with them, and it's just really fun overall. No two games of Grimmsnarl are going to be the same. So yeah, I like it.
Agree. I agree. Yeah, it's a very fun matchup for sure, but it's as much as I was in denial, it does definitely feel in favored, even if you play the grass attacker like Durant. Now, the testing that I did yesterday, I decided to cut the Durant because I said, hey, the matchup is probably chalked anyway. But then I ended up hitting like Garchomp, and then I ended up hitting Charizard, and it's like, man, you know what would be really good here? Durant. So I'm definitely gonna find a way to put him back into my list at least. But this is probably the most notorious matchup. I would say. Would you guys say this is the hardest matchup for us?
Not the hardest.
What do you think is
I
the
would
hardest?
for now I would still put Gardy as hardest, although I have not played much
Really?
with Moon. I have not
Okay,
played much with
okay,
Moon,
okay.
so maybe that's why. But like
Yeah,
straight Gardy, no Jellicent, I think it's still rougher into.
that is a really rough matchup. I agree.
Yeah.
I think like without text for it, I think Joltik Box is the worst matchup for us
Mm,
now.
Oh yeah, fair enough.
Um, like I don't really want to run Cornerstone anymore because like Gholdengo just guts around it and like it doesn't do anything except against like maybe Charizard very occasionally. So I'm just like, this card sucks and I don't want to add it anymore. And I am thinking about adding Terrakion, but I still don't think that it's enough to like completely make the Joltik Box matchup favored. So not having a good tech option to make a matchup swing from like unfavored to 50-50 is a little rough. And then also like their deck is just so consistent while ours bricks like every 5-6 games. So that's why I think Joltik Box is the worst.
I mean, that's just the nature of our our deck all around. Is like, what do you play as answers? It's like you could tech super
Yeah,
heavily into one matchup and then not tech at all for another. So I think that's the magic of it, and so that's why, I think these sorts of discussions are important. And looking at it from a mathematical perspective, what do we have to respect at the top, and then work our way down from there. So Jay, you mentioned Joltik Box.
Yep.
This has kind of always been a notoriously bad matchup for us because it's really hard for us to answer Pikachu. They are more consistent, especially because a lot of us have agreed that maybe Corner Pond doesn't offer as much value in this format as it used to. Cornerstone was a way to kind of cheese some wins sometimes and make them work extra hard for those KOs, given that the only thing that can really swing into it is Mew and Iron Hands, and not
Yeah.
very efficiently.
I'm quite a big advocate, like you've seen for the last few days, for a fighting type attacker in this, and more than the Terrakion. That I mean, people probably won't know what the Terrakion does. Nope, I haven't seen that card in play yet. Terrakion is like a return attacker, like a return. It return KO's hands, which I think if hands gets the first two prizes, we're already in a horrible spot against Joltik. Like we need to draw legacy and not be gusted around in the first three turns. So I think having a fighting type attacker like the Flamigo or the Passimian or whatever I looked at, which are quite bad cards sadly, but they can one shot hands. So I think our best chance is obviously go second to steal their Joltik into boss plus first KO on the Iron Hands. But
Hmm.
also Mari, you talked about the ancient Pokemon, the Slitherwing, where
Hmm.
we can do the same thing to Pikachu instead, and also have the answer for when Pikachu's already in the active.
Slitherwing, it's the answer that Raging Bull has had to Pikachu, because that's something that it struggled with too. Slitherwing now works with Prism because it needs two fighting energy, and that basically just, two Prism. We have an easy answer to Pikachu, and their hands can't one hit KO it back. So this is something to consider playing if your locals is very stacked with Joltik Box. Now it's just a matter of, does Joltik Box rise to like a top three contender for Worlds, whether or not it's worth playing, for me at least, specifically for that format, or anybody else even looking to play this to Worlds.
It's an interesting answer to Pikachu and also like Johto Box in general. something that I don't really like about like answers to Joltik Box is a boss answer, because one, if you run like two boss, it's really hard to find it on exactly turn two where you have to like use it to KO hands or something. We're not Raging Bolt where we'd have Noctowl for Prime Catcher Sada knockout, right? So we generally like to play more draw supporters on turn two anyways. And
True.
I don't know, it can also get amped, which is a little bit of a iffy thing. Like I don't want to see, if I like boss Pikachu, and then, or just if there's a Pikachu inactive and I want to Slitherwing it, I generally don't want to get two prize KO back by an Iron Hand. So
Okay, we can get rid of the Slitherwing propaganda then. Paradox, was there anything you wanted to give insight on that we've talked about before we keep going down the matchups?
This is Joltik Box, right?
Yeah, we're doing
Yep.
Joltik Box.
I'm pretty sure I was kind of listening while I was fixing audio. I think Jay was saying it's basically just a prize race, and if you have Gust available when you need it.
Mm-hmm.
Or Legacy, yeah.
Or
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, Legacy to offset the price trade, yeah. And I don't know about you guys, but I feel like that's like a matchup that like I really, really, really try to avoid setting up Squawk or Wellspring. I mean, you can use Legacy to offset the prizers, but still, I just try to avoid it.
Yeah, they have amp on those guys,
Yeah.
and you just lose the price change faster. / you lose Legacy like as an out. It's really, really bad.
That matchup personally for me became a lot better when I actually started incorporating the Clefairy of the Lilies of Pearl.
Mm-hmm.
So you can loop that with the Legacy as well.
Yeah, that's a really cool addition that I like. It also helps with the Raging Bolt matchup, from what I can tell too, right? So maybe that's the way if you want to try to combat these aggro decks.
Raging Bolts. What are your guys' thoughts on Raging Bolts?
I love it a lot more now with the Lilies Pro tech, because you can either again just attach Lilies Pro, then loop it with Legacy Energy, or just do both, and then you're basically telling Raging Bolt to take a zero prizer.
I really love it because it's quite easy for our deck to force them to use Prime Catcher early. And the moment they use Prime Catcher, and most of the time they overbench themselves, Sob becomes so strong in this matchup.
Oh
like
yeah.
sobbing Raging Bolt for 4 prizes. I think I did it in, I don't know, 4 out of 8 matches, like 50%, let's say, lately. Like they always use Prime Catcher turn 2 or 3. It's quite hard for them to keep up, especially with Legacy, to keep up without Prime Catcher. And Iron Leaves is quite a fake card, I think. Like we can play around it quite easily. And then Sob makes this matchup so fun.
Yeah, I agree. Like Raging Bolt is like, it's unfavored in the sense that they're a better 2/2 deck than us, just from consistency, and they have a little bit more tricks. But like, we also have our tricks with Legacy and Sob, and I think some people even start running Black Curum to paralyze the Raging Bolts to take 4 prizes as well. So,
Yeah. Or Tapu Koko.
or Tapu Koko, true, yeah.
Tapu Koko mentioned.
Yeah, so I think this is a chill matchup. Like, sure, their deck's more consistent, and then like, it's easier. It's an easier deck to play. I don't think it's that bad compared to some of the other matchups.
And it's definitely one of those matchups. I mean, if you just like have a terrible hand, it probably is game over. But
And that's most matchups for us. You know, if we have a bad hand, game over.
yeah, but I guess like what I mean is that generally with us, we're starting 2 prizes most of the time.
Sorry.
Whoa,
The thing
it's
is,
giant
Bolt
now.
as well.
Y'all keep yapping. I was a dimensions issue on OBS, so I just needed
That's better.
to blow it up because it was compressing it. That's why. So
Yeah.
There we go.
yeah, real
I
streamer.
think our deck gets like pseudo consistency against Raging Bolt as well, because it's very rare for us to have a matchup in which we have like 4 or 5 attackers that can get the job done, right? Like almost everything in our deck can kill a Raging Bolt. Like that's not a problem. Or at least with the list, even before, even with Luminous, we were fine with like Bear or Gouging Fire. So we get fake consistency or pseudo consistency because we don't have to draw an exact attacker or a nest ball. Half the deck, half the Pokemon we draw are good attackers in the situation.
What would you guys say? Do you think it's a 50-50 against Bolts?
I'd say 60-40. I'm quite confident in the matchup.
60-40? Yo.
I think we're good.
I think it's a 55-45.
I agree.
Yeah, something like that.
I'd say more 50-50 just because if they start playing with their single prizers, it gets a little crazy. Like if they fan road them, you're like only Char Cadet, then that's also kind of GG. Or if they start baby bolting on your only Charcadet, it's kind of GG. If the Regibolt knows how to play, it might go down to even 45-55, but against the majority of Raging Bolts that I face on ladder and IRL, it's pretty chill.
Something that could be cool here to add to each of these is like whether it's right to go first or second. I think we can agree that against Dango, it's better to go first because they want to go first. Any contention?
No,
I don't know
completely agree with
actually.
that.
Okay, all right.
Did
I agree with
did
that.
they fully cut? Did they fully cut the Evo? They run 0 TM Evo right now, right?
Yeah, they run 0 Team Evo, but I
Yeah,
think
then
some of
I
them are
think
like
first.
saying it's fine to go second. I don't know. Like Gholdengo players are weird.
If you know you're facing Gholdengo, do you want to go first or second?
Oh, for 100% first. 100%.
Yeah, first.
Okay.
Although going second, I don't think is super bad because they can really whiff their setup going first as well.
Yeah,
Yes,
that's what I was
Because
thinking.
they can only properly Genesect turn 2, right? Or going second, I guess, for preparation, but it's only evolution Pokemon if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
Yeah. So
So they
them
need
going
exactly
first,
Poffins for
yeah,
a good
yeah.
turn 1, yeah.
They don't have the out that Miraidon has, right? Miraidon, all you need is a
Ye-
nest ball because it gets basics, obviously. So
Exactly, exactly.
they might suffer from the same consistency issues that Dango suffered before Genesect going first. But also our deck is not phenomenal in attacking turn 1 going second, right? Like we can never Wellspring going
Yeah,
second, so Torrential Pump I mean, but yeah.
I mean, yeah, the idea of what that I was thinking is you set up like a Charcadet in the active, a Charcadet on the bench, and whatever your 2 prices are, and they most of the time don't have boss plus ESP plus Genesect and a Gimmighoul setup. Like they need a lot to actually start the
Yeah.
2-2 race. But you kind of almost instantly lose if they do get it, unless you can Chi-Yu loop with Legacy and Iono.
But I feel like even if they get 2 prizes right off the start, can't you just now set up a single prize board state?
Yeah, you're
Oh yeah,
probably
you
good
can.
with you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
honestly, yeah. If you just do like double Charcadet Ho-Oh Chi-Yu, I think that's fine.
I think Azul's logic applies here. If we set up properly and we get to loop Chiu's mid to late game, we win this matchup. So we should probably go second because we have a better turn 1, right? Like Azul said.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Or that's and also their turn 1 going first is like not that
Yeah.
strong because Buddy
Mhm.
Poffin opening hand 38%, and then the draw 1 that bumps up to like 40 something. It's not. It happens like a good chunk of the time, but not always. So I don't know actually. It's weird. And also, if they whiff Genesect on turn 2, we just torrential pump them until they like scoop. It's interesting because like going first is good because if they just set up like gimme goals and you get a really good turn 2 with torrential pump, you just win the game.
Yeah.
So I think you can go either one. Probably first is probably better if you want to make them uncomfortable though, but second is for your own consistency and like I know the matchup, I know to set up double Charka at Hoa and Chi-Yu and win. It might be optimal to go second. We'll see.
Mm-hmm.
And in addition, there's also Iron Bundle that can work as an attacker.
That's true. Except it doesn't work as
It's
well with
it's a bit
Air
weaker
Balloon
with
now.
Balloon, yeah.
No,
Yeah.
it doesn't, but it buys time, right? Especially if you're still in a single prize board state.
True, yeah.
I think we can all agree going second into Grim is correct.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. And then
I've been spreading this propaganda for years, and no one believed me until recently.
I just want to. I'm curious to see the numbers exactly. You know, which, if we look at the matchup spread, what's better to go blind? So against Raging Bolt, first or second?
I think you always go first.
You
Yeah.
go first if they have owls always.
Yeah,
Right?
they have owls. You always go first against owl decks.
Okay.
And if they go first, they get the Ditto, they put Baby Bolt inactive with an energy. That's quite bad for us.
Yeah, we can.
Like,
If
that's
we
quite
can't
bad.
find 2 Charcadets, it's GG.
Hey, Edwin. Edwin just joined the chat. For anybody who doesn't know, Edwin Bach is like
Yo,
the,
what up, my guy?
like the godfather of Armarouge. He's one of the most successful Armarouge
That's the
Arceus
homie.
players. Yeah, it's the homie. The architect of the Eevee Box version of the deck that was popular in this deck's infancy. Joltik Box, we go second. Always, right?
Yeah.
We don't let them get that.
With any deck, probably.
Yeah. And then okay, Dragapult Charizard. I don't have any strong feelings on this. Does anybody have something to say about the Pult Zard matchup?
My locals are infested with Pultzard. I play 2 Pultzards at every challenge and every cup pretty much. And This matchup, I think I have the same feelings for this matchup like Jay was saying about Grimmsnarl. No two games are the same somehow. They always find a way to mess up some math or to get me in some weird positions. I went first, I went second, I did not feel a difference much. I think going second is correct, because right now there's some people were testing Pulsar for Worlds and they were playing 3 TM Evo, or 2 TM Evo and 2 Charmeleons and stuff. So probably stopping TM Evo is better than stopping Candizard turn 2.
Yeah, I think so too. Like, Charizard isn't actually that bad of a threat, honestly, because we do have Iron Bundle just to like go around it and then start targeting those Dracloaks and stuff. I don't know. It's I don't really think this deck is like that strong either. So
I don't respect this deck. I'm not gonna lie. I've always been a hater of this deck.
same.
It feels like it does what both decks do, just objectively worse.
I don't know. Like this deck, like it's so bad. All it can do is play for the high roll of like setting up Dragapult and Charizard at the same time. Like that's all it does. And if they do get it, the matchup is hard. But like most of the time they don't. So it's just like I don't. This deck is stupid. I don't like it.
It's crazy hearing these opinions. Like when I told you like locals are infested by it, I expected
Dude.
full 180 opinions. Like this deck feels so like always. Maybe it's just because good players in my locals play it, but I feel like this
Mhm.
deck does well at almost every tournament. Because exactly what you said, dealing with a Charizard is quite hard for some decks, and then having the option to straight up retreat into a one turn powered up Dragapult wins a lot of
Yeah.
matchups. Obviously
Yeah.
has a pretty decent Gardy matchup with the Dragapult, with a Charizard one-shotting Gardy and stuff. Plays like 3 counter catchers, so that's also hard to play around. And the biggest problem I have with this, like playing against this deck with Armarouge, was that I wanted to say it's hard, but I think it's impossible to play around the counter catchers. So if you miss a bit, like if you Iono or research and miss, I don't know, an energy or a stretcher or whatever, they will get 2 prizes that turn. It's really hard for them to whiff on that. So the prize race can become very, very weird, especially if they play Shaman and you cannot Wellspring, I don't know, 2 Dracloaks or a Dracloak and a Charmander or whatever early game, right? Yeah, all 3 of you have the same opinion of the deck not being that good. It must be just a weird bubble.
No,
that
not
maybe...
me, not me. I think
Oh. Oh,
I
no?
think it depends on the player piloting it. I mean, it could also be a thing that in my locals the players are pretty good.
Yeah, okay. I think a lot of good players. I expect this to be quite played at Worlds, just because I've seen a lot of the top players just at least try it, and obviously the deck does well. So if they try it and it does well, it might be a contender. Like Mari said about Gholdengo, that with 3 weeks left, if they're testing Dengo, they're probably playing Dengo. I feel like this deck will be the same for some people.
Yeah.
I also do think I don't think it's the I'm not saying it's the hardest deck, but I don't think it's like an easy deck to pilot because
That's
you have
true.
thinner lines.
Hmm.
So now bringing it back to us, do you guys feel that it is a 50-50, favored, unfavored? What are your thoughts?
I
Mm.
think this is a 50-50. I think both
Yeah,
decks have exactly what they need against the other deck.
I agree.
True. It's just who can get what they need when they need it.
It's
I
whoever
think
can
this
get set up faster. That's
this is
the
this
name of
is
the game.
also quite a high skill expression matchup. I feel like
Yeah.
our deck cannot just go Unga Bunga Durant the Charizard, because most of the time Dragapult can answer with like 2 prizes or set up 4 prizes or stuff like that. And also the other way around, they cannot just Candizard and attack with their only Zard, because obviously we can Durant or whatever, Regigigas, whatever people are playing, right? I might be biased just because, like Paradox said, good players play this around me. So I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's like the Dragapult. This is the Dragapult variant that has the most like agency in the early game. So I could see people who do want to play like a good Dragapult variant, play this over like straight Pult or Pult Noir. So yeah.
Also, this is the Dragapult variant that gets the easiest access to Chi-Yu, right? Or the only one that gets access to Chi-Yu, I think.
Yeah.
So they will tech that, and they will rather play this with Chi-Yu for the Gholdengo matchup than play like straight Bolt or something, right?
Yeah. I feel like at least for our deck, depending on the pilot, you can fall for the trap of like not managing your bench properly. So you'll set up too heavily to counter Pult, and then they'll come in with Zard, and you just don't have an answer to it because now all your energy's gone from play, and you need to bench Durant and Ho-Oh. So maybe I do need to start respecting this deck a little bit more. Maybe I'm just used to playing bad people with it, but I feel like I don't really lose to it that often. Would you guys say first or second?
I think the only reason you want to go second is just in the off chance that they brick. So I feel like it's just better to go first.
Yeah.
When I go against my friends or whatever against the locals, I choose second right now just because I know, like I said earlier, they play a heavy TM Evo and heavy Charmeleon line. And
Okay.
if they go second and they set up 2 Charmeleons turn 1, it's either Wellspring or bust. And some of them also play Shaman, so I cannot even Wellspring or bust that, right?
So then maybe it just depends if whether or not. I mean, I guess at a local level, if we know the list, we adjust, but blind.
They will always play Rare Candy and they will always play TM Evo. So I think
Yeah.
whichever you consider more important, a Rare Candy Zard turn 2, or 2 Charmeleons, or 2 Dracloaks, or 1/1 turn 1, right?
Vic, this is straight Pult. Would you guys say we are? How's our matchup?
Favorite, for sure.
This is the most chill matchup known to man. Like I could
Yeah.
probably beat like Dragapult players like half asleep, or straight Pult players half asleep. Like it's really easy.
The straight Pult one, yeah, I think it's pretty favorite of the 3 Dragapult variants. Well, I mean, I guess if you include Dragapult, no, I think Dragapult Zard is harder. I think straight Pult's just easier.
Yeah. Pulsar's like
Pulsar
Pulsar has a high roll
Yeah.
chance. So yeah.
Yeah.
The problem of straight Pult is they don't want to attack with anything else other than Dragapult, and if you attack with Dragapult against us, we get Clefairy Mew, and that's
Yeah.
it.
And that's game.
With Pulsar, they will only attack with Dragapult late game when it's literally like to checkmate us or something. And the
Yeah.
same with Dusknoir, they will attack with Dragapult, but also combo with a Dusknoir and stuff. Like straight Pult just doesn't have any options against us because we would love them to attack with the Dragapult, right? Even if they take 2 prizes or 3 prizes, as long as we have another Armarouge ready to go, that's good. We get to genome hacking.
Yeah, I feel like most of the time, at least when it was common to play Maractus in this deck, they would just try to, force the comeback with a Maractus and assume I don't have an answer, and then here comes Minior to save the day.
Yeah.
So, okay, I think we can all agree that straight Dragapult, easy dubs. Going first or second, probably going
Doesn't
first,
matter.
right? Doesn't matter.
No
It's
second.
win either way.
It's usually second
Maybe
because
second, so you dude, I guess.
yeah, it's they have to find Buddy Puff in turn 1, and then you don't get Budew, and even if they evolve into Dragapult on their second turn, that's still nothing for us. Like we just still Wellspring through it, or even Iron Bundle Wellspring. Like it doesn't matter. They have no rare candies, and they don't also have like Crystal, so it's like whatever.
All right, so Dragapult Dusknoir. I feel like this one it's obviously different because that's Dusknoir, but it has
That's a bit rough.
a little bit more potential to just kind of demolish your board state in one turn.
Yeah.
So going ahead
Yeah.
can sometimes be scary. With that said, I do find the matchup not to still feel slightly favored from my experience, just because you can out-aggress them pretty easily, and if they ever leave Duskulls in play, the Mew genome hacking play just becomes so much more powerful because then you could just take 3 prize cards. If they ever have to use a Dusk, great. Now that leaves you at 2 prizes left to take for the game.
I think it's a little more in favor than Pulsar, just because like they can force you to take a prize card and counter catcher and then Iono a little bit harder than the other variants. So like even if you take like the first 2 with Wellspring, and then all your energy gets shuffled back into the deck, and then they like Dusclops pop or Dusknoir pop into counter catcher into Iono, like sometimes it's just really hard to come back from that, just from the consistency issues that our deck has. And also they do have like the crazy turns of where they can Dusknoir pop on Armarouge, counter catch the other Armarouge, and then Hawlucha like Phantom Dive into the last Charcadet or something. Like they have a lot of outs, and they have just more like their Ionos are just stronger, so that makes the matchup a little bit harder.
And I do think it's, for me personally, I think it's the worst Pult matchup, but that's just me.
No, I agree here, 100%. It's the worst.
I think it's for sure the only Pult, but also I think it's the only deck overall that can kill all 3 of our Charcadets Armarouges in the same turn, which is insane. Setting all 3 of them up, or I assume 3. I don't think any list plays 4 right now, but even then, setting 3 of them at the same time is really hard. And them being like, if we go through it, we actually set up, I don't know, 2 Armarouge, 1 Charcadet. They pop 1, counter catcher 1, Hawlucha the other one. All 3 of them are gone. We cannot come back from that. We can be up 5 prizes. We cannot come back from 3 Charcadets dead because they will keep killing the one you bring back with a stretcher. One single Dusknoir being on the board can mean we lose the game straight up, which is really rough. And there's no way to protect Charcadet or Armarouge rather.
I've been on the receiving end of that way too much.
Yeah, I also think
best
like
we can do
Dragapult
is-
Dusknoir players are better too.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, the
And
deck's
it
been around
doesn't-
more, right?
It does not help because literally, at my locals, when I run Chat deck, it's probably just Andrew Hedrick.
Mm.
Yeah, it doesn't help, bro. It doesn't help, bro. It doesn't help.
If we have a slow start, this is like straight up 2080, I think, 1090 straight up.
Yeah.
And
yeah, we need like optimal start. We need them to only bench like one Duskull so that we could like pump it, and like it's a razor thin matchup.
yeah,
So
They have to be
it
playing
has
very
to be
well.
said. It has to be said that it's obviously less consistent than straight Bolt, and I would say
Yes.
less consistent than Pulsar as well. So
Mhm.
Yeah.
more often than not, they will not have a perfect start. But still, they don't need a perfect start. They need one Duskull to survive like a turn. Rare Candy Dusknoir, that's really rough already. So
Yeah, it's bad.
It sucks so much that it's like the Dusknoir's ability lines up perfectly with Armarouge's HP.
maybe the 80 HP Char Cadet fixes some things here. I haven't tested the 80 HP Char Cadet, but still.
I don't think it
I feel like
does
that only helps
really.
against Howlucha.
Yeah, they can.
It needs to be quite literally your last Charcadet,
Yeah.
and that's
Yeah.
really hard to get.
Yeah.
All right, I don't want to go off topic here, but I just got to confess something, and I know you guys are all gonna hate me. I'm still playing the 70 HP Chickens, bro.
Nah, I'm also
70?
playing all the 70
Okay.
Yeah,
good.
same.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
no. That's it. That's it. You're
That's the
right.
optimal one. I love the
That's why
70
I
HP
said.
guy.
That's why I said maybe the 80 HP one fixes it because I have no idea. I'm not testing
No,
that.
it's so
I'm sorry.
bad.
I will
Two
start it
retreat
every
cost.
game.
So would y'all say
Hell
against
no.
Dragapult Dusk, first or second?
I think
Second, I guess,
first.
and pray.
Really?
Second, and pray they brick.
That's true. Okay,
Like-
from like a probability perspective, I think it's second because you don't want to get Badewed, and the chance that they have exactly Skull Candy Noir like solo.
Also, because they have the most potential to ruin your board state. Second lets you get a much stronger board state established because you do more on your first turn.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think
Okay.
second. I could see second.
I think second then.
Sweet. All right. I just we've been talking too much about what we struggle with. Let's just go ahead and point out what's an auto win, and that is
Oh, Armarouge. Wait.
wait the mirror. Yeah, we
Yo,
auto
team
win
kill,
against
team kill, team kill.
ourselves. Yeah,
Dude.
Team kill, bro. Team kill, team kill.
Dude, all these
Why?
Armarouge players are just so bad at the game. They can't sequence properly. Like their deck is so easy. They break all the time. Like what's wrong with them? Easy matchup, auto win, because one of us always wins. Wait.
True. There we go. Math. Crustle. I jump for joy if I ever get paired up into a Crustle. That deck
Oh, yeah.
stands absolutely no chance against us.
We
It's
slurp.
embarrassing.
Yep. Free matchup,
Mhm.
free game. We're happy we get paired into them. We don't complain.
100%.
Chew the goat.
I'm curious about Typhlosion because it's not auto win. It's definitely not auto win.
No.
But
No.
I think it's pretty fair to say we're favored. It's typically they want to be establishing their board. I guess it depends on which variant, right? Because they could play like Pidgeot, Dreepy. I mean,
I
the
think
Diploak.
the Dracloak one is the most common right now, if I'm not mistaken.
I think you're right.
Yeah, typically they want to get at least three actually of their obviously their attackers, two draw engine, and that just kind of leaves like one room for like Shaman if they even play it or if they even have the ability to bring it out. I feel like I'm running over this deck pretty consistently with Wellspring.
Yeah, Wellspring kills
Yeah.
Typhlosion and Quilava, and the deck suffers from like they set up very well, but once the things start dying, it doesn't set up as quickly. They need
Yeah.
one attacker pretty much already set up every turn. So if you kill two of them, turn whatever 1, 2, 3 or 2, 3, I guess, then you're good. It's still problematic, obviously, because they get 2 prizes per turn after the first attack. So
But yeah, I mean it's a chill matchup. Like a good Ethan's like Typhlosion player will always hold one Ethan's just for like the last like burst turn because they have 240k of Brave Bangle now. So that's something you should watch out for. But that's only the really like scary thing about that deck. If they hold that last Ethan's Adventure and they have that one last burst turn where they can get like Candy Ethan plus energy or something like that. And also Shaman is annoying in the deck, and I think they always run Shaman now.
Yeah,
they? I
but
haven't
getting
seen
it
it.
out, I feel like every time I face it, they play it. They just don't play
I
it
think you
early
should
enough.
run it.
They just don't
I
get
think you should be running it. Yeah, I think you need to run it.
And then even then,
Yeah,
if
you
they get the
just lose to
Shaman in
Baby
play, you
Bolt.
just Iron Hands, and then at
Yeah,
that
yeah.
point, yay, they have 2 Quilava in play, but nothing else, and then it's like, oh, I just feel bad now. I think the only
Yeah.
time we
Also,
lose
Iron
this is
Bundle
if they.
destroys this deck. For going first, I think we go second, just because if they want to set up with Arvin, Buddy Buddy Poff, and TM Evo like all the time,
True.
and we take that away from them. Yeah. So and then like if they get like the nut set up with like double Buddy Buddy Poffin and they have Quilava hand, and then they play Quilava and then like Ethan's Adventure on turn 2 to get all their other Quilavas, you could just Wellspring and
It's a little sketchy right now, the difference between Gardy and Gardy Jellicent, because like I feel like not too many people are playing traditional Gardy on ladder at least. Everybody wants to play with their shiny new toys. So I don't have much experience with Moon now against straight Gardy. It's mostly been against Gardevoir and Jellicent. Is there anybody who wants to speak on, facing Gardy now, like traditional?
I will just refrain from this because I've not hit a single one yet.
Same.
I've not played with Moon. I've played with the previous build without Moon against straight Gardy, so I will also refrain probably. I think Moon is a huge part of this matchup. It's safe to say we're not favorite, even with Moon. Like it's still at least a 50-50. Most.
yeah, I think at most it's a 50-50, and just having Moon like solves a lot of like our bench problems where if they do try to go for like a 4 price turn with like Screamtail and stuff, we can just completely avoid it. I think Mari showcased that on his stream last time really well, where they Screamtailed active 160, and then he just brought out Roaring Moon, like bumped our own AZU, and then got rid of the Clefairy that had 160 on it, so they couldn't do the 4 price play. The
Also,
only problem we had against them was not being able to KO Gardy consistently.
Gardy is also one of the decks that always has a stadium in play, which gives our Moon even more consistent like attacks without obviously damaging ourselves. I saw Mari struggle with it as well, like hitting like one area 0, sure, but if you remove it, you clear your bench. Hitting the second area 0 to do the same attack at second time is quite difficult. So them always playing an Artisan in there is quite useful for us.
So if I can ask y'all a question, since I haven't played with Moon in my deck yet, just because I've had time to test it. What's a strat into Gardy? Just basically try to use Roaring Moon of Legacy on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was kind of the same.
Pretty much it.
Not gonna lie.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Moon is decent also. It's 230 HP, so they cannot kill it with a single monkey. So if you get to
Yeah.
Wellspring or hands a monkey early, and they don't set up immediately one to threaten a second one, your Moon can even live a Gardy attack. Like 190 plus 30. So it makes them not want to put Gardy in front. So if you have Moon, you kill Gardy. If they cannot kill Moon, they will not put Gardy in front. You kill whatever else they put in front.
That's a correct idea, and it's so much more playable now. Like it's not like if they put Gardy active, we have to pray that they misplayed and put 30 damage on our bench. We have to Monkey Dory, both have to double full bench, Lillie, Clefairy, like Full Moon Rondo, 310. Like we don't have to do that like stupid math anymore, and that makes the matchup so much better.
I really miss Monkey Dory in this matchup because Monkey Dory is so good in here, obviously.
True.
Like Monkey into Gardy, you pretty much always have something to Monkey to them, and the 30 damage fixes a lot of like attacks.
Oh, is Monkey not the no longer included?
I think most of
I
the
think it's
changes,
good.
or at least Jay removed Monkey for Chi-Yu, which is what I thought as well. Like it feels like they fulfill the same role but in different matchups, and obviously Chi-Yu right now is kind of needed.
Yeah. Okay.
I want to include everything. I want to include Chi-Yu and Monkey Dory. I just need to find space.
Gardevoir Jellicent, kind of a fraud, and I would say we're probably favored because it's a bad card, right?
Yeah, they broke too much.
I wouldn't think it, but after playing against it a lot on ladder, it does feel like a good matchup.
Yeah.
And they break more, like you guys say. Like it feels good. It feels fine. The Jellicent doesn't bother me much, especially
Too squishy.
Yeah, exactly. They leave it damaged most of the times. It doesn't really do that much damage, and we have things to KO it back, so it's fine.
Yeah.
Bundle is insane in this. Obviously, if it does bother you, just bundle it out, right? Kill whatever else they put in front.
And the holding bundle is insane against this deck too. Like I remember Mari's stream, like just hold bundle, and their brain like freezes or something. I don't know.
It's pretty safe to go first, even though they can get the Jellicent, because like even if they're item locking you for 20, like now they have a Jellicent in the active,
It's the only way they can do that if they start with it though. They don't play
Yeah.
any retreat, they don't play switches. So
Yeah.
unless they start exactly Jellyfish and they attach the
Fair.
energy to it, they cannot item lock you. Like that's
Yep.
quite fake. I'm more scared of TM Evo. Turn 1 going
Yeah.
second of them.
I
Yeah,
agree.
so I honestly like going second might be better against this deck, just to like avoid the TM Evo. Unless they high roll and have Frillish active and then Jellicent active, but like that never happens.
Yeah.
I think
And
first is
even
correct
then
because
it's
Gardy
still
struggles to get like
playable.
its
It's
whole
still
board
playable.
established early, and giving them an extra turn to do it like
Mhm.
removes that like threat of being able to wellspring their board into like oblivion.
If they high roll, but we always have lines, and this deck is just a weaker deck and is less consistent. Yeah.
Okay.
Going
Sweet.
second does allow them to retreat into Klefki if they have it, which a good
This
player
is
will do.
true.
So
Yeah,
Yes,
that's a
this
bit
is true.
tougher, I think.
Sorry, changing it back to first. Does anybody have any strong thoughts on Charizard Pidgeot?
I think it's fine with arm press. Funnily enough.
Finally, dude, Arm
That
Press
helps so
saves
much.
us. It's deceptively hard. Like you think this is an easy matchup, but it's actually more of a skill matchup, I feel.
I think I would rather face this than Pulsar. I think it's easier to wrap my mind around this matchup. And usually
Hmm.
they set up quite bad if you kill a Pidgey early, or even
That's
if you
true.
Wellspring 2 Pidgeys, this deck does not set up.
Oh, I mean, if you
So that
Wellspring 2 Pidgeys, then
yeah,
you just
yeah,
insta win. Yeah.
yeah. And
I think
I
this
think
is
they play TM Evo, so probably rest rare
yeah, they
candies.
run double TM Evo and I think
Yeah,
2 rare candies. So they can, if they need to, they can candy Pidgeot, candy Zard. It's deceptively hard. Like you have to make sure that you're not like accidentally KOing your own guys for taking the knockout sometimes. But like if you Wellspring and then they Charizard and they hit your Wellspring, you just Durant and it's like a back and forth until you Reshiram eventually. So
yeah,
yeah, they have to be tricky with it in order to actually gain some sort of advantage. They also stopped running Briar, some of them, which is also like more in favor for us because Briar is
yeah.
one of the few ways that their deck can beat us.
So would you guys say going second against Pidgeot or first?
Uh, First. I think in this matchup, rare candy into Pidgeot is more dangerous than TM Evo. So probably first.
It's dangerous, but it's like not bad either. Like we
Yeah,
eventually like you can dismantle it. Like they're not if they're not gonna get a board that's like completely unable to be torrential pumped, you know?
yeah. I
So we always
think
get a torrential pump.
first.
I think second's
I think
fine.
first is fine. First is fine as well.
But
Either
they're
or
both
works
fine.
for me.
Yeah, they're both fine.
All right, and then Flareon, Noctowl, Eevee Box. It's
Free.
maybe if you're bad at piloting this deck, it's a hard matchup, but like I think there's just so many ways to play around it, like in your favor. Like if you know how to use the Mew optimally, how to
Yeah.
where to position your energy for backups if you
Mm.
get Angel. Like I just think it's if you know how to play the matchup, this is heavily favored. And I think statistically, play limitless, it is our probably our best matchup. I think it was like 62% or something like that, or one of our best
Yeah,
matchups.
Yeah.
like okay, if you go first, you completely curb stomp them, and then if
Yep.
you go second, they need exactly Angelite with or like KO lone Charcadet, along with us not being able to find Charcadet the next turn. Or if they burning charge like a active Charcadet, then it's a little
It's
hard just because they are able to do like the 1, 2, 3 with Briar, or they could Wellspring potentially because I know some lists are running that, but
yeah.
eh.
Most lists took out Angelite and play Wellspring Terrapagos, which is good for us, right? Angelite is more annoying than Wellspring. Like we can KO Wellspring whenever. It can still screw up a slow start. A no
Yeah,
Angelite Eevee
100%.
Box, I'm really confident in the matchup. Like if all they have is I think what they run right now is like Flareon obviously and then one Leafeon
Yep.
plus the Wellspring and Terrapagos.
Yeah, and sometimes Ursaluna.
And
Yeah,
we go
fair.
first,
But
right? Because letting them go first,
You
they have
always go
access to
first.
owls. Okay.
there's
Yeah.
also there's also a lot of them that go with their owls. They put Crystal on Terrapagos and go for Crown Opal, which we
That's so
don't really
fake.
care. Like yeah,
Yeah.
they do that because they see like all our fire Pokemon and stuff. People don't know the deck obviously, and we do have Terrapagos and some decks still run Bear and stuff. So
Hmm.
we can waste their Crystal quite easy. I'm scared of Miraidon. You guys are not scared of Miraidon. We can move
I'm
on, I
not scared
guess.
of Miraidon.
Bro,
I
Miraidon's
think
such a bad deck, bro.
I think Miraidon's just like kind of like Bolt in the sense that whoever wins the prize race wins the prize race.
Yeah, but we have like Legacy. I guess they have
Yeah,
Zero
yeah,
Ore
yeah,
though. Yeah,
You still have to draw Legacy, so.
yeah, it's like
yeah.
60-40. Sometimes Miraidon players are also just not the best players, so that's also there's
Yeah.
also that factor happening.
All they have to do is hit 2 generators.
Yeah, all you
Like,
have to do is
that's
hit
what I
2
hate, bro.
generators
Like,
every
bad players
game.
will hit generators against me. They will win the best of 1. Like, I hate it.
Also, I'm curious
Yeah,
what the
it's-
difference between Miraidon and Miraidon Electric is that they had to separate it. Is
so
one just generators
regular
and separate?
Miraidon, yeah,
It's
regular Miraidon
Magneton.
runs Magneton, which is the much better way to play the deck because you
Yeah.
can like dismantle the prize trade, you get counter catcher, you get Zekrom instantly.
Yep.
Well, Electric is more telegraphed, and that's just bad.
I think both are fine. Like there's some that's playing a 1/1 of each, or like a 2/2 of each. Like there's not 2/2, 2/2 and 1/1 of the other one, whatever. Like them
You
combined
can,
is
yeah.
really dangerous. That's but what it's more bricky, so.
Yeah.
And then we go first in
Favorite
this
bet.
matchup because the chances of them having a turn 1 KO on something relevant is like low, right? Or am I tripping?
I swear you go
Not,
first in this
not
matchup.
for
Like,
me.
okay, if you want to
Second.
play around their, I have exactly Iron Hands, double Electric Generator, plus Attach, plus Prime Catcher, sure.
Oh my god. Yeah, but that's just so nasty. And I feel like what made Miraidon so disgusting pre-rotation was Forest Sealstone.
Yeah,
It's
like they
you
don't have
were
Seal
always
Stone.
you were always missing one piece that Forest Sealstone had to come in and patch it. So it's like unless you get really lucky, I feel like you don't have
Yeah,
that
and they
anymore.
also have Raikou for that extra like 1 draw.
I 100% first. I mean,
Okay, so
I'm not gonna. If I'm be honest, guys, I'm just like I'm gonna go first, bro. I'm gonna go first.
I agree.
I'm
I
gonna go first.
agree.
Like, because literally, when it comes to the coin flip, I don't even. Well, I guess I'm talking about IRL. I'm not really talking about online. I'm talking about IRL. Like, I don't even care like if I win the coin flip or not. I'm like, most decks want to go second. I'm chill going first. I usually always go first. So.
Same.
I think I would
Yeah,
go second just because they don't need a hands attack. They don't need the 4 energy. They're fine with 3 energy on like a Miraidon or something going second. And getting 3 energy is quite okay, I think, for them. So if we start with a 2 price there, which happens quite often, and they get the
Yeah.
Miraidon 220 damage, we are fucked.
But we play
'Cause
so
they
many
got
230
2
HPs because Ho-Oh has 230. If you play Moon, that's 230. Terapa goes 230.
But
What
you don't want
else?
Ho in the active, you don't want Moon in the active turn 1.
That's
Mhm.
true.
Like
All right.
it, you're screwing yourself up there. If you
That's
get
true.
to choose, most of the time you start with whatever's in the active, right? Like I don't know, like you start Durant every game, like Murray.
Every game. Every single
Dude,
game.
that sucks because you can't even use the fucking sudden shearing anymore,
I
bro.
know.
that's what I'm saying, man. That's why I run Penny, by the way. You know, we got a Penny those sudden shearings back. Always win the control matchup with sudden shearing, Penny sudden shearing. GG.
There's some magic in Durant where it always hits like one of the best cards you could hit. It's so
It's
rare
so
that I'll hit
good.
something and be like, that was irrelevant. I'll be like, I was about to Iono them, but I hit a research, or like I've hit their A spec a couple times. They're only out to win a couple. It's cool. Let's see which ones we have objectively better versus second. So second, first.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Yeah, I
always
think it's
fine to
tied
go
across
blind
the
first,
board.
TBH.
Yeah, I think unless like you're in top cut or best 3, that's when you actually start putting some brain
Yeah,
power,
what?
you know.
Yeah. If you're in like a league challenge or something, that's like all best of 1 or like a league cup, then like just go first to skill diff everyone. But if you're at a regional top like top tables, then yeah, you have to think because what this is where I'm thinking like in a best of three situation, how do I maximize my advantages? So yeah, and I always go blind second on ladder just to like see how the matchup feels going second anyways. Just chill. Well, control is actually a relevant matchup in like worlds
Yep.
meta and stuff. But I think having like mini ores and we never get energy trapped except for a prism, so you just have to use them like correctly. Make sure you get 2 prizes off of them every single time or something when you do use prism.
Oh, so I was gonna actually. I'm glad you said that. Is it never a consideration to use Pechi X as their dark attacker? Because it doubles as not only the dark attack. I know they gotta take prize cards, but it doubles as that as well as the pivot.
Yeah, I actually think that could transition well into our tier list because that's on there. This is the list that we ended up with. We ended up ranking things from staple, sizzling, man, it was like a very, very obvious or really powerful inclusion. Cooking was things that could be good, but were still kind of not, fully tested out. Undercooked was things that had potential to surprise us with their power, and then we had things that just there's no way they were going to work. They're absolutely chopped. I don't even think we take a second look at anything in chopped, right? Unless somebody's a warrior for Iron Thorns. I know we have the Iron Thorns guy himself, Paradox here. Is there anything in chopped you guys want to salvage before I just get him out of here?
I want to clarify that, yeah, the Iron Thorns has been chopped now. It has been chopped. It did help. It did help at a time where, like, I think that was like a pre-Prism thing. Now a Prism now.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, let's go ahead.
Maybe Budew,
Badew's like
could be
maybe,
undercooked,
yeah,
but
yeah.
it's very close to being chopped. I'm fine with it staying in chopped.
Yeah.
Engine.
Yeah,
Also,
it's part of
can
the
we
core
chop-
engine. Yeah, perfect.
Can we fully chop Hilda and Tapu Bulu as well? They're not a thing.
Yeah, I don't
Hey,
think
how could you
anyone's
say that about my
tested it.
Go, bro?
I'm sorry, brother. This is
Yeah.
the wrong Tapu. It's the wrong Tapu.
Yeah,
It's
I
true,
agree. I don't
true,
think
true.
anyone's put any testing or anybody's too much of a trooper for either of those cards.
I mean, I did test Hilda. Like, I played a one of Hilda line, or I did a 2-2 first, where I replaced one Iona and one Ultra Ball. And there was exactly one game where I needed exactly Hilda to get me out of the situation to find Armarouge and Legacy. Like, every other card would not have been able to do that. Like, I had too many good cards in hand, so Ultra Ball feels bad. If I drew Legacy, then I don't get Armarouge. So I need exactly Hilda. And I drew it. And I was like, wow, this card is amazing in this one game. So yeah, pretty bad card.
Quick intervention. Somebody just texted on Discord. They're in the tournament. They are playing as Miraidon. They chose first, like you guys said. The other guy went second, got the attack and the Vitality Band to hit for 230.
They run Vitality Bands?
I'm telling you, this deck is real.
Bro, they do not hit Vitality Band and double electric generator. Dude, that's not real.
I know, but they do. They do. That's the problem.
Bro, I'm not playing around variants like that. Like,
let's start with Pech. Let's talk about Pech, where and I have stuff to say about this. So basically, for anybody who doesn't know, Pecharunt is it lets you move your dark type Pokemon from your bench to your active at the expense of poisoning them, and typically it is used as an anti-retreat lock. It was used in Raging Bolt as a one of tech when Maractus was getting super hyped because, well, obviously it would prevent that. And so going into the black and white format, some of us, including me, were hyping up Pecharunt as a better alternative to Minior because now you can actually attack with it. Its 2 dark energy retreat costs can now, its 2 dark energy attack costs can now be fulfilled by Prism. And it's a pretty powerful attack, doing 60 times for each prize card your opponent has taken. So it's good to close out game. But I tested it and was a little bit underwhelmed with it because you needed Fez in play as well to get any value out of it. Whereas with Minior, you only needed the Minior and an energy, which you most likely had. You already have a good amount of closing attackers like Reshiram and other stuff. And so I was very underwhelmed with Pecharunt, so I want to open up the discussion to see if you guys have any different thoughts on Pecharunt.
No, I hate Pecharunt, dude. But like the biggest thing is with Gardy, especially not Jelly Gardy, but like traditional Gardy, is they really, really, really have to go for like a 2-4 prize line where they take like the first 2 off your active to like get rid of like an Iron Hands or something, and then they set up the 4 prize turn, or like they go 2-1-3. And so if you go against like any person who's competent, or even in like a best of 3, they read the card and like, this doesn't KO Gardy if I only take 2 prizes at the start, and like just build damage, and then just like go for the 4 prize turn. So I'm not really sold on it at all. Like it's just not a good card. It's not consistent enough. And you also need Fez for it as a pivot. And then if you have both Pech and Fez against Grimmsnarl while they're Maractus locking you, I feel terrible. Like I try not to put that many liabilities on bench, unlike some people who are like, we have too many liabilities. Why would we not just play Fetch? Well, I try not to put that many liabilities in play anyways against Grimmsnarl. So
also the 190 HP is awful against Grimmsnarl because they could hit into the Pech and let the Frostlass KO, and now you can't draw any cards.
Well, that's if they evolve on the turn they hit. So, but yeah,
that's true. Yeah.
I think my biggest issue with this is that it fulfills, like, other than the retreat rocking, sure, but it doesn't fulfill any role in attacking except Gardevoir. There's no relevant psychic type or whatever weak to darkness type that we cannot get around other than Gardy. So we play this one single card that takes 2 Prism, who the opponent needs to take 3 prizes for us to be able to use this card for what's it used for, right? I think that's
Yeah,
very awkward. Like, for
it
example,
is.
for Durant, playing a grass type is really important because Charizard has 330 HP, Grimmsnarl has 320 or whatever. Like, there's big dark type Pokemon. A Zoroark 280 is already awkward for us, right? So there's a lot of big HP dark types that we need an attacker for. There's not that many big HP psychic types straight up other than Gardy, right?
Yeah.
So this card
Yep.
is a bit too niche, and like Mari said, it's worse at or Jay said, I'm not sure, it's worse at protecting against retreat lock than Minior is. I would like this to be good, but I don't think it's good.
You can
That's
use this
fair.
in the Raging Bolt matchup though. After
6
they take
times
4. 6 times 4.
yeah. Yeah, but
Like,
if you,
whoa, another Raging Bolt attacker we don't need.
Yeah,
No,
if you
yeah.
have
I think yeah.
if
I
you
think
have
what
2
Icarus is
Prism in
fine.
play, if you have 2
Yeah.
Prism in play and are able to move it, you will have a lot of things that get the final 2 prizes against both.
Yeah,
This could be overkill.
this card's terrible. I don't know why we liked it. I
Yeah.
personally never liked it.
I'm gonna.
It's fine.
That's-
It's okay.
Yeah,
as
it's fine.
as Pecharunt's biggest soldier, during the theory crafting stage, I will do the dishonor of going ahead and putting it in chopped for us.
07.
Yeah, I don't even think it's undercooked. I just genuinely do think it's bad.
So I got like I do got a dip here shortly.
Mhm.
So if you don't mind, if I can bring something to the conversation before I dip, is
Mhm.
have any of y'all tried out the Lillie's Clefairy with the Pearl? Because I
No, I
generally
have
did it as a
not.
meme, and like the more I play with it, the more I actually think it's insane.
But you play an Arven engine, right?
I play a 2 Arven engine.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I didn't try any Arven builds. I want to, and I think do you play Trolley as well? I think you do, right?
No. I play 3 research for Iono, 2 Arven, 2 boss.
Okay. I do like the idea of having some useful tools. I think XP share is also cool in our deck and stuff like that. But I think for Lily's Bird or whatever, you do need Arvens, and that changes the whole deck, right? You need to find space for Arven. So
Yeah.
Well, here's my thinking, right? So if you can loop Clefairy, because you're generally always hitting like for 220 to 260, you don't always have to do the meme, right, of the, the Legacy and the Layla's Pearl, and at the same time, right? It's better to divide it. It's better to put Legacy on Clefairy once and then later use the Pearl,
Yeah.
or vice versa.
yeah, problem is finding the Pearl. I would never play this
Arven.
without Arvens. Yeah.
Yeah,
I would
yeah.
never play this without Arvens. And then if we're talking Arvens, the whole deck needs to change around Arven, I think. Like you play an XP share or whatever.
You play Bravery Charm, you play XP Share, you play
Bravery Charm,
Countercatcher, and then you cut the
Yeah.
2 bosses because we don't need boss anymore according to Azul. So therefore,
No, you need boss.
Yeah, you need boss in this
You
deck.
need boss. I can see a one boss, because I think he is kind of right that you can't play around bundle more. But I think
Yeah.
I prefer just 2 boss, bro. Just 2.
Same.
It's
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
saying earlier. I don't think Paradox was here yet, but if you remove one boss, you add one card, you don't get that much from that one card to be worth
Yeah,
it.
because if you prize it, it's
If-
just you're
if
basically not
we-
playing
if-
boss.
If we could add a 5th Nest Ball or a 5th Research, sure, that would 100% make sense. But taking out the
Yeah.
boss, like the second boss, for 1 energy, I guess, or 1 energy retrieval, like it's not gonna change that much. And playing a boss is playing no boss, right? So
Yep.
it's
Yeah.
awkward. It's awkward.
I also wanted to add too that right now I'm experimenting with the 2 Arven. I think that the more I play, I just think that the amount of times I'm able to set up Clefairy with the Pearl, it just comes up so frequently because you're digging through your deck a lot,
hmm
and it's always safe to go ahead and bench the Clefairy preemptively and just attach the Pearl.
Okay.
I think Clefairy is the one Pokemon, at least with a Pearl for Legacy, you can preemptively attach.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll honestly play around it just to see. Like if you want to put the list somewhere in the Discord, then yeah,
Sure,
I'd be
sure.
down to try. Yeah.
Yeah, one thing that's always been interesting with this deck is there's different ways to play it. Arven Engine is something that some people have been cooking since the beginning, but it's always been hard to navigate. It's like it's a different engine. So it's
Yeah.
like when we have these discussions, it's like, where is Lily Pro good in this deck? And it's like, well, it's good in this variant. And this was kind of going to come up anyway with the Precious Trolley, if you guys see in the bottom left new text. The second
Yeah.
highest placing list at the GameSmart 1K was a Precious Trolley, but that's because it played Arvin, you know? Um, so it's like, is it's been a while since we've kind of had like different variants engines kind of be like super hyped in the Discord at least. So Paradox, are you a champion of visiting the Arbin engine as a potentially better?
Oh, not really, to be honest. So low key, it's something that it wasn't even my idea. It was my homie's idea, by the way. I want to give him a shout out. But I just think that even if you just go for the 4 research for Iono, I still think it's fine to have the Pearl in there because I think you're just gonna see it. So you're gonna see your Nest Balls, you're gonna see your Ultra Balls, and then at some point you're gonna see the Pearl. I just think that the ability to offset the prize race even more outside of Legacy, that's just insane.
I think
Okay.
we have a lot of one prizers though. Like most of the times when I get Legacy to work, I also get them to kill a one prizer, either attacking with Chiyu or attacking with Bundle or something. So
Yeah.
I don't know. Like it's obviously good, but I don't know if I would put it in my 60 cards,
That's
especially
fair.
without
That's fair.
Arvin. Without
Yeah,
Arvin,
yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't think I
Without
could
Arvin,
find space for this.
yeah. With Arvin, you can put like Counter Catcher and Lily's Pearl and all that stuff. Like
Yeah,
you get some good cards in there,
I think
so I can see it more in that
four
style.
Arvin four Arvin Trolley is probably decent. Even like two Arvin with Prime Catcher is probably decent, and then you play the Pearl instead of the Legacy. But
Ooh.
then you suffer of having just four rainbow energies, right?
No,
I
yeah.
mean, I'm running 4
So
Prism or 3 Prism, 1 Legacy, so I'm like not that it doesn't change it for me.
As
Yeah.
for Lily's Pearl, Paradox, I know. Actually, you know Paradox, I'll let you place it somewhere because we haven't tested it
So
on
what's
this tier
I mean
list.
they're thinking undercooked or cooking. What does undercooked mean? Like it's not it.
It has
it
potential.
needs to be studied more.
So
Yeah.
either cooking or undercooked. I still think it needs. Again,
Okay.
I'm just one person playing it. I think if more people get more or data on it, then I guess that would help. But like, I
I
think it
think
has
it's cooking.
potential.
I think it's
Okay.
cooking. The card is really good, but we cannot really find space for it. That's the problem. So it's not the card's fault,
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
right?
It's our deck's fault. We blame the deck.
We would all love to have a Pearl on our Clefairy, right? It's the card is good, obviously.
Okay, we'll do Undercooked for
I think
now because
cooking.
that's the same that's the same tier that Leaves was in, and I think Leaves showed a lot of. No, it didn't even really show that
Nah,
much promise.
Leaves
What am
is
I thinking?
chopped.
Yeah, Leaves
Yeah.
is chopped now.
Screw
I don't.
leaves, dude.
Leaves is chopped. I don't know why so many people like it. I hate this
I've
card.
spent hours and hours of my life like discussing and telling people why leaves is bad, and then they'd be like, "But leaves one shots every time," and I'm like, "This card is terrible. It can't attack twice."
Yep.
I
That's
agree.
it can attack twice, and that's not even the biggest problem with this card.
I know
That's the
it needs
crazy
double
part.
prism.
Yeah, that's the crazy part.
I feel like
I,
double prism makes sense on Roaring Moon. Just I haven't even tested it, but it just makes the most sense because it's like that guy will close out a game.
That guy
yeah,
will kill anything for 2
Right,
prism.
right. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. And that makes the sacrifice worth it.
Exactly, yeah. Like if you have to invest 2 turns to get a nuke online, of course you would do it, right?
Yeah,
Like it's just
100%.
so good.
All right. With that being
Yeah.
said, I do have to dip out, guys. Appreciate y'all having me.
Yeah,
Really, thanks
thanks
Yeah.
so
for
much for having
coming.
me on.
GG's.
Thank you for coming on,
Appreciate
man.
the conversation. I'll see you guys next time.
See you,
Yeah,
man.
see ya.
Bye.
See you guys.
All right. So yeah, Leaves is a chop. I agree. It doesn't even help the Garchomp matchup. It can't one hit KO a Power Bracelet, whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
Garchomp, they put the cape on the Zard. It's never one hit KO. It's yeah, I agree. Chop, chop. We don't even have to waste
Terrible
more time
card.
on it.
And it only does 180 against everything else. Like
Yep.
at
Yeah.
least even Durant can sometimes KO a Raging Bolt.
The only good thing this card does, and is a thing that we should probably investigate more, is being able to set up an attacker when our Armarouges get killed.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. But
Yeah.
that in this case,
Ursaluna.
yeah, in this specific case, you would need to have two Prism while your Armarouge is getting killed. So
Yeah.
they would have to ignore two Prism in play to kill an Armarouge instead, which is already, yeah, it's probably never happening.
And I just don't see
Yeah.
a scenario where that happens and 180 is doing enough to
Yeah,
recover.
it's literally just Charizard. It's Charizard because in the
Yeah.
Pult Zard matchups
Yeah.
I've had, it pretty much always came down to them counter catching, killing my last Armarouge, or my last two Armarouges with like last Armarouge with Zard or last two Armarouges with Halucha Dragapult. So even in that situation, it's only a 50-50. They have to attack with Charizard because this does not kill a Dragapult, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, I didn't even see
It's-
Paradox gifted a sub to Edwin. I didn't even see that. I don't know why, but I appreciate you, Paradox, if you're still here. I know you have to go, but that's how did I just miss that? That's like that takes up the entire chat. Anyway, okay. Cool. All right. So leaves. Let's get it out of here. Gigas.
Can we put Gigas in Chop now? Like
Can we
that card
put-
is so terrible.
Can we put Gigas in Arma Hell? I know that was a tier we had last time.
Oh,
And
No, see, but like Arma
No,
Hell
no,
is like
that's end
cards
Sigilith,
that were
that's end
actually
Sigilith.
could be good and end Sigilith, you know? Like Carmine wasn't terrible. Like it was bad. It was not as good as like Iono, but it wasn't
Yeah.
like Regigigas,
Brother.
you know?
yeah.
Regigigas is fine. Regigigas is not that bad. The biggest problem with Regigigas, it requires you to change your deck. You need
Yes.
recovery, so
You need fifth recovery option, and it has to be Super Rod.
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
superior, I guess.
Super.
Superior is fine.
Superior doesn't do enough, I don't think, because you have to discard two, and that makes your hands awkward and stuff.
Yeah, but you draw with Mew. Like I can see
Yeah,
superior doing enough.
there's
But I don't want to
a
play superior. I don't want to play superior, so I don't want to play Regigigas. So
yeah. I hate Regigigas. That card is terrible.
I think
I even
if,
pulled a Master Ball from Prismatic of it. It's just sitting there, like staring at me.
if the meta was full of Terra Pokemon, more than just Dragapult and Charizard, which we can deal with, then maybe. Like if top 5 or 6 decks were all Terra Pokemon and this card becomes the Lillie's Clefairy, you know, like it can
Yes.
attack anything, sure, but that's not the case. Like
No, yeah. If it were in that meta, like if it was like Eevee
Yeah.
Box, Sarah Ledge,
yeah,
Raging Bolt, Terra Box, Charizard, yeah, of
Yeah.
course you put that in, but
yeah.
that's not real.
So I think chopped for now. I'm tired of talking about why this card is bad.
Me too. I hate this
Honest-
card.
Let's if you care to know more, watch the first episode. We dive into it a little longer, but I do not want to waste any more time on Gigas. You guys
Yeah.
were saying maybe this guy should be salvaged from chopped.
I think it's undercooking. Like, there's a bit of an aggro meta starting to pop up in like the underdepths of like Joltik Box. No, not Joltik Box, like Miraidon, Raging Bolt, and I think there's what was it? There's one more deck that I'm forgetting about, but yeah. Oh, Charizard. Budew does really well into those three decks. Raging Bolt, especially if you want to like, if we don't want to include Lily's Pearl and want like a easy way to say like I'm no prime capture this turn, save it for next turn type thing. This is pretty good. It offsets the prize trade. But again, like last time we discussed, spread decks are scary, and Budew doesn't do really well into those.
Also,
Yes.
people are gonna be more prepared for item lock since Jellicent's here.
Yep.
It's not the time for Budew, but it's not as bad as Iron Leaves for sure.
Oh, Gholdengo too. Like if you like if you go turn 2 or second going on turn 1, and you can Budew, you basically just win. It just stops boss ESP.
Yeah.
And if they don't have Genesect, like if they save a Nest Ball for Genesect instead of like playing Genesect like on the board because they know we're an aggro deck, then you stop the Genesect for one turn as well. Like it's so few decks from which it matters. At least this one is easier to get into. We don't have to commit a Prism. We don't have to commit Latias, which we sometimes don't want to do. It's a little undercooked still for Budew.
Just to get, I think the bulk out of the way, we can pretty much agree Fez, Latias, Wellspring, Iron Hands, Clefairy, and Mew still staples, right?
Yeah.
I think all those.
Prism
honestly.
bundle, Prism
Prism
bundle,
bundle.
Squawk.
Yeah.
I want to say Reshiram as well. I don't know. I don't think we ever take that card out of the deck.
So okay, that's something that's
Unfortunately,
interesting.
yes.
I don't know, Jay, were you serious when you were talking about cutting Reshiram, or was that like a joke?
It's like half a joke because like okay, I haven't actually used Reshiram yet, except in the Gholdengo matchup.
Really?
And which kind of annoys me because it's like because most of it's either I have like in the late game, like I literally have like checkmate automatically because that's how the deck works. Like you just set up checkmates with like your like next to attackers and then you just win. And so like every time I go against Raging Bull and I have this Reshiram card in my hand on turn like 2, I'm like I hate this card. I want it to be Gouging Fire. But I can also see where it just guarantees you checkmate lines against stuff like Charizard, which is really important.
Yeah, this
Where
this is the
yeah.
best card to set up checkmates. So
yeah,
it's like you said,
it is the checkmate card.
yeah, like this kills anything and is quite healthy. Like 230, it's quite good.
Mhm.
Like there's no reason to not play this. I think. Like it's
Yeah. Well,
it's
that's
a
not no
better
reason.
Ursaluna. It's a better
Uh,
Ursaluna for us, I think.
If Raging Bolt gets like 20% like play rate, I would play Gouging Fire over Reshiram, honestly,
Yeah.
just for the extra consistency.
Yeah, but
I
even
think
if it's
so.
20%, the rest 80% becomes so much worse without Reshiram.
It's not that
That's
much
true.
worse, really. Like
I
what?
think hitting.
Like Charizard gets worse for sure.
I think
Yeah.
Reshiram for 3
I
fire
think
energy
Reshiram. Yeah.
is
I
good.
love Reshiram, but also I haven't used it yet, really, because like. Yeah, and also the Raging Bolt matchup kind of traumatizes me a little.
Reshiram won me. I played 2 matches against our Chaludon. Reshiram won me both of them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, our
But
Chaludon's annoying.
yeah, boss KO on our Chaludon, and you force them to hit bomb or bomb monkey to kill it
Yeah,
back. And if they miss that, that's game. Like you win from there
that's
on.
true. That's true.
I want to be a little bit more scrutinizing in terms of like distinguishing between staple and sizzling. I know we're saying Reshiram is super important, but there is a world where it's not correct. And Azul, even on the stream, repeatedly kept saying, I want to cut Reshiram. It just doesn't feel good. And then he would be like, but what do I put in its place? And he just couldn't find anything to put in its place. So it's like on the verge of being staple, but also like sometimes being like this could be something more useful. I'm okay with it being in staple, but would you guys, is it staple? Is it just something that's sizzling that's like it's a very obvious inclusion, but I can see it going realistically?
It's better than the other 4 cards in Sizzling by a mile.
I think it's the best fire type basic attacker, basic fire
Yeah.
type attacker in the game. We are a basic fire type deck. It seems a bit obvious. It should be a staple in my
Yeah.
opinion. Like it's the best at what our deck should do. On top of
Yeah, I
of course,
agree.
we're a box, we're one of each type, whatever. At the
Mhm.
core, our core Pokemon are 2 fire types that accelerate fire type energy, right? So
Yeah,
I think
like we kind of just need Reshiram,
yeah.
unfortunately,
The
in
the only
this
question is
specific meta.
the only question is with Gouging Fire, which let's say it's the second best basic fire type attacker. So which one of them is better in the meta? But one of them
Yeah,
100% has to be in the deck.
yeah, that's exactly what I'm thinking about.
Yeah.
Like, it just
Yeah.
you have these 2 cards. One of them's a lot better in the early game. One of them's a lot better in the late game. Which do you
Yeah.
pick and why? Yeah.
Also,
Sweet.
Reshiram can attack multiple turns, which is
Mhm.
quite important.
Yes, that is really nice.
Because
Yeah.
you hit the problem with
You hit 260 and then you're sad.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, Reshiram helps with setting up checkmate boards. It feels like a pseudo Roaring Moon, where it just feels like a nuke that you could preload and leave there, and it's like
Yeah.
Yeah,
it
and it's
just
also
feels really
really
good.
cheap as an attacker. No prisms necessary, so you can load up something else.
The first
Something.
attack is also decent,
Yeah.
hitting like 50 or 60. There's a lot of things weak to fire, like basic Pokemon. So a lot of times, for example, in the Archeldon matchup, I ended up attacking with the first attack to do like 100 or 120 on Duraludon to set it up for later, because I know they only
Yeah.
hit for 220. So even having a smaller attack for 2 energy is really good.
One card that I will campaign to be removed from staple is unfortunately our beloved Durant. And this is coming from somebody who removed Durant, was perfectly fine without it, but also kind of missed it, so now putting it back in the deck. But if things change, it is on the chopping block.
I don't know. The consistency of Durant and the Grimmsnarl matchup specifically is just so nice.
Yep.
Like, if they have one Froslass set up, Durant will always die, and that's a good thing because you get Fez Draw and Iono. And that's really, really strong against that deck, in particular because they brick out of their minds after the first couple turns.
And the Grimmsnarl is currently like second or third most played deck. And it's a
Yeah.
it's a 50-50 skilled matchup or even unfavorite. So I
Yeah.
think we cannot play without Durant.
Well, I
Yeah,
think
if we had
that's
a better card than Durant, then it would just be immediately cut. But this is only because it's the best option we have.
But the thing is, against Grimmsnarl, I probably don't even use Durant half the time to win the game. Half the time I'm just
That's
using Iron Bundle
crazy.
to work around it and then closing out with Reshiram. You know what I'm saying? The only time
That-
that I miss Durant is on Guard Chop. But it's like, is that a real matchup? You know, like, I don't know. I'm
Kind of.
struggling. Kind of. Like, yeah, we'll hit it, obviously. But it's like, I don't know. Maybe I'm just thinking, like, Worlds meta. How many?
No, there's going to be at least like 2 people playing it. Like,
I think
True.
at
it's kind of
Worlds,
good.
at Worlds you're gonna have insanely good Grimmsnarl players, And if they know you're not, you cannot KO the Grimmsnarl unless they take 4 prizes, they're not gonna take 4 prizes. They're gonna take 6 at a time, and then you're screwed. Like, they will never allow your Reshiram to kill 2 Grimmsnarls, for
Yeah, that's
example.
true. Yeah,
And
that's
they
true.
cannot avoid Durant killing 2 Grimmsnarls. If you get your Durant, like the moment they attack with Grimmsnarl, you KO with Durant. Even if they kill the Durant, you can stretcher the Durant back, and that's the game.
Hmm.
Like being able to comfortably one-shot Grimmsnarl is huge.
Also, super niche scenario that gives Durant value is a Gholdengo not needing their supporter for turn, so they just set themselves up for when they get Iono'd. Um, they will sometimes Cypher Maniac, put the boss at the top of their
Yeah.
deck. A
Yeah.
smart player will make it the second bottom card, but if they don't, if they're not anticipating it, you can just Durant and then Iono them, and they
That's
lose one of those
crazy.
two
That's
cards.
crazy.
And it's gonna come
That's
Nah,
up.
crazy.
It's
bro.
going to come up. I can guarantee if you're playing Durant in your whole Arma deck, this scenario will come up.
Oh, okay, but what if you add a penny to the deck to make even more consistent? Durant, penny, Durant.
Both of the cards
Ooh.
they cipher.
Cypher Maniac?
Chill. Let's calm down. We're talking about an 80-20 matchup, like we said, or 70-30. We're good.
Here's the thing. I still don't think the card belongs in staple because I think it's not always an auto inclusion. Do you guys want to absolutely shoot me in the face right now for putting it in sizzling over staple Durant?
I would
Not
never
shoot you in
play
the
this
face.
deck. I would never play this deck without a grass type attacker. Like, it just
Jay,
doesn't work.
Jay, if you second
So
that sentiment, I'll throw it back up in staple.
I wouldn't shoot you. I'd just be disappointed in you, you know?
If by the end of this Durant is just better than everything else we end up throwing in sizzling, I'll move it up. But as of right now,
Mhm.
I don't agree it's a staple because I don't want to like dilute what that word means,
That's
especially in a
fair.
deck like this. Which is why even like a card like for me, Reshiram is a no-brainer. But could you look at a list with no Reshiram and say I could see it? Versus if I saw a list without Iron Hands, I'm completely disregarding that deck. You know what I'm saying? So
Then
I
should
think,
bundle go down then? Because there are some builds that don't run bundle,
ooh,
and they're doing
no.
okay.
I think that's wrong though. I
Yeah.
think bundle
That's
is good in
bundle's
any
just
build.
too good.
Yeah. There could be builds that don't run Latias, but that doesn't mean Latias is not a staple, right? Like the card is just not
Oh,
there.
oh my. Oh, yeah, bundle is part of the engine. That's so
I'm not gonna
true.
lie. I'm
Get
not
that man
gonna
up
lie.
there.
I'm not gonna lie. I do think it could. It's a really good card. It's a really good card. And then we'll go ahead and keep going. I think a card that is very interesting is Terrapagos because going into this we were curious about what is the correct Terramons. A lot of people were running Cornerstone because it was good in the last format. In the Destined Rivals format, it allowed you to pretty easily wall Gholdengo. Wasn't playing much Gust. Rocket's Mewtwo was very popular, and it was a very good card into that matchup. Archaladon saw a little more play. That Cornerstone wasn't super useful into Archaladon, but it was there, and it was there. It can't get damaged by Grimmsnarl. Um, so I think a lot of people were playing it in the past format, but I think it's been a little bit underwhelming in this particular format. So the replacement Terra going into it, I think obviously Wellspring, but the second one that I think got a lot of hype was Terrapagos. Terrapagos has surprised me so much. It has increased my consistency because of its 2 energy attack. I am routinely manually attaching to the Terrapagos to set up a backup um, for a potentially like all goes wrong play. And it has bailed me out of a ton of situations. I genuinely can't imagine not playing the Terrapagos right now. So that's my take on Terrapagos. I would put it in sizzling, but I'll go ahead and open up the floor to you guys.
I agree with you. I've been
Broken card.
I've been a Terrapagos staple since day one. You guys were discussing Gouging Fire, Bear, whatever. I think Terrapagos is the most flexible, and like even last week at the cup I played, priced both Armarouges. I have a really good start, but obviously I cannot hands or I cannot Wellspring. So manually attaching to Terrapagos 2 turns. The other guy had a slow start. I got 3 prizes. 3-1 prizer just died. I got my Armarouges back in like in play, which you cannot do without this card. 150 damage always, up to 240 for 2 manual attachments, not even Prisms, is brainless. I might consider playing this card even if it wasn't a Terra. The fact that it's a Terra and the fact we now have the 5% of like the 1% of Crown Opaling as well, I think. Yeah.
1%.
It's very rare. It will not come up. It's fake, but it's there, you know?
Even when it does have the opportunity to come up, it's just never going to be the optimal play. But it's fun.
Yeah,
it's
that's
super
also
fun.
true. That's also true.
Jay, you were talking a little bit about Corner Pawn might still be good. Would you play that in addition to Terapagos?
Dude, I don't even know. Like, it's because of how chalk the Joltik Box matchup becomes without Cornerstone, because you can set up these really narrow board states against Joltik Box using Cornerstone and like aggressively using boss and like Mew and stuff. But like going down to 2 boss now, I'm like I don't really see that line that much anymore unless I use Palpad. It did win me, like Cornerstone did win me my league challenge, or like it won me a game because I got to have Cornerstone in front. I demolished their Pikachu. Next turn I bossed their Pheasantipity, demolished, and the next turn I bossed their Pikachu again to Wellspring for game. And they just couldn't do anything against Cornerstone just existing in the front. Yeah, it's like saved me in a lot of matchups, but just like thinking about the meta as a whole, it just doesn't do enough. Unless you set up like solo corner pawn with like 1 Armarouge and like 1 Ho-Oh and something else. It's just not good enough, especially compared to Terapagos and how flexible it's been.
So I think we can all agree Terapagos, Ghost, and Sizzling.
Yeah.
Almost staple, honestly. Like almost staple.
Almost staple. Yeah.
No, I don't think so.
I think it's
so, but
Durant
it's
here.
very good. It's very good.
Yeah,
It's very good.
it's very good. If we had a better Terra, we would play it though.
Yeah.
But it's hard to be a better Terra. It's hard to be a better Terra
Yeah,
for 2 colorless
exactly.
energy. So
Exactly.
230 HP comes in play a lot.
Yep.
So yeah, it's fine.
30
It's
HP
fine.
with no
Yeah.
ability too also comes into play.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good.
So you mentioned Cornerstone Pawn. I kind of shared my thoughts on it earlier. I don't really have any more thoughts on it. I think it would just go into cooking or undercooked.
I think cooking is fine. Like I think just because like you can set up these really intricate board states, like very narrow board states against like Joltik Box, Gholdengo, and even Archaludon actually, like and some other like and Charizard as well. It might be a little bit better than like Budew per se, but yeah. It's not as good as Lily's Pearl though. It might be undercooked.
I think it's undercooked, but I'm biased. I don't like this card. I think even in matchups where it's good, attacking for 140 is so slow.
Mm-hmm.
It's so slow. Except specifically Joltik Box, where it walls them and you don't need to go fast because you only need to kill 2 things, right? They'll never have 3 things set up in that deck. That's the only case in which this card is okay. I still don't love it because they play 4 boss. You do 140, they boss kill something, you're even in prizes, right? It's 2 prizes, 2 prizes. It's not even that good. Maybe against if walls was bigger, then I would consider this card because it's shred, obviously. But other than that, I don't think this card is good.
But yeah, if walls is really prevalent, and others, even like Crustle is actually prevalent right now, and that's like a wall deck in a sense.
Yeah, but that's bad.
Cornerstone just loses. Yeah, hits her weakness.
Yeah.
Crustle is a direct counter to Ogre Pawn, so
yeah,
it doesn't work in that case.
Very, very poetic timing. Peter here, who is playing in the tournament tonight, player earlier that got the Vitality Band, Miraidon, Donk, I guess, says, if Miraidon has a good showing at Worlds and most of them play Vitality Band, I think we need to play either Charm or Cornerstone. Do you guys agree with that sentiment? Do you guys think Cornerstone has more potential if Miraidon sees more?
Just play Terrakion.
Yeah, just play a fighting attack. If both Joltik Box and Miraidon go big, we literally just play a fighting attacker. Like we play the grass type, right? We wouldn't play Durant if Charizard, Zoroark, and Grimmsnarl weren't that big. So if electric types get too big, we just play a fighting attack and that's fine.
Yeah. And it like Terrakion also just KOs Pheasantipity like every day of the week too.
Only if they take a KO beforehand, so you need boss.
Well, that happens a lot. But yeah, oh yeah, we do need boss, but
yeah, I think again, I like unconditional. Like if we play the Flamigo, for example, that's in Mutex down there. If you play that, you don't need boss. You play it whenever you have boss, right? Like it's different. Whenever boss is in your hand and you can set up Flamigo, you do it and you kill the Fez. As opposed to them taking a KO, and then you need to set up Terrakion, and then you need to have boss for it as well. And I am a huge fan of the Flamingo. Like it's so cool. But
Yeah.
it's only in those two matchups. So
We can
Yeah,
talk
maybe
about it then.
Terrakion is just better in like the Miraidon Joltik Box matchups, just because they're always like in your face with the electric type, you know?
I'm not sold. I'm not sold on Terrakion.
Okay, I mean previously we had Terrakion and Cooking Tier, um, along with two other attackers that I think we will definitely revise one of their positions. But Jay, right? You were an advocate of Terrakion,
Yeah.
and then
Well,
it
I'm not like an
also.
advocate. Oh, okay.
I think it goes in undercooked. I'm a little underwhelmed. Would you advocate it for to be higher?
Not with Joltik Box and Miraidon's like meta share right now. Just think it's like garbage. Yeah, it's like it's undercooked.
Oh, for its meta
Like,
share right now, but if they become more prevalent, you think it's worth
oh yeah,
revisiting?
like if like Miraidon and Joltik Box are like super meta, I put Cornerstone and Terrakion in my deck every day of the week. It's like it's the same idea as like Chi-Yu, you know, like Gholdengo is just so strong right now, and Raging Bull is also pretty strong, so Chi-Yu is a pretty decent response, along with Crustle meta. So
Flamigo, I think also undercooked. I think we just need to test it. I think putting these two next to each other would be
it's
pretty
really bad
fair.
in best of
Yeah,
three.
for sure. Not necessarily because I said like they
But not
struggle to
really
not
bad.
fill their bench, right? Like they
Yeah,
struggle
okay.
to not fill their bench.
I think it's worse against Joltik Box specifically, which is my problem. And Joltik Box, I think, is the better deck overall. This might be fake, like maybe Miraidon is just the better way to play Lightning decks. But I think Joltik Box right now is just the more consistent and better way to play it.
I think my issue is even if it's worst against Joltik Box, Terrakion is not good enough against Joltik Box either.
How
Because
so?
you need to retreat KO, and against Joltik Box, if you retreat KO, it means they took two prizes, either with hands or Pikachu,
I
whichever.
mean, they're always taking two
So
prizes. Like that's what
yeah,
Joltik
so
Box does.
they take the first two prizes. You retreat with you retaliate with Terrakion, and
Uh-huh.
then most often first prizes are hands. You kill the hands. They push Pikachu in front.
And then they
They
boss.
use one of their four bosses. They get their fourth prize. Then what does your Terrakion do? Best case
Uh,
scenario, you boss kill Miraidon, and then they still have the Pikachu ready to take the last prizes.
no,
Like
they don't
Terrakion
because you
doesn't.
need three. The problem with Joltik Box, especially with Pikachu attacking, is that it discards all their energy and they no longer play Super Rod. And so what you do against Joltik Box a lot is you chase their energies to the point where they have to have Crispin Prime Catcher to win the game. And that's a
Which
really good.
they will. They
No, they
will
don't.
have
No,
Crispin
they.
because they preemptively Crispin as well. They have Lily's Clefairy with only one Crispin away. Like it's tough.
Eh,
It's
I
tough.
think it's like that's the only way that we beat their deck is if we chase their energy super
Yeah.
aggressively. So, yeah.
Mm.
But I could see
Yeah, that's
Flamigo
fair enough.
has saving potential. Um, but I do not like that card.
I don't like either of your cards, and I will be advocating for Slitherwing. Woo! I'm just
Get this card out of here, man.
yeah, we'll bring back Arma Hell. I'm gonna put it in job. Let's talk about one that we've been referencing this whole time, and I think we've been speaking of it as if it's like a just a good inclusion, Roaring Moon. This is probably the card I was most excited to test once we got Prism Energy, just because I feel like it solves a lot of issues that the deck has. It gives us a
Yep.
1 KO answer to Gardy without obviously that's not Pecharunt's. It lets us clear liabilities off of the board. I feel like bench management can sometimes get a little bit sloppy, and it's not even like a matter of misplaying. Sometimes things are correct to bench, and then don't end up coming in use the way the game plans out, right? Like sometimes it's correct to bench your Terrapagos, but then you have to attack with Wellspring, and all of a sudden you don't need two Terras. You're never going to use Terrapagos, and I feel like Roaring Moon kind of like in crazy scenarios where you just need the board space to win, it lets you clear your board a little bit, and if it becomes a relevant attacker. Frenzied gouging, having a nuke, just a nuke when you just need to close out your game against an unanticipated attacker, like it's solid. But yeah, I'm a big fan of this card. I really like it. It doesn't always come up, obviously, but I think having it in the deck helps you set up really good checkmate board states against Gardevoir. It gives you a really good answer into Jellicent. 230 HP is phenomenal. It doesn't have an ability, so I'm a big fan of it. How do you guys feel about the Roaring Moon?
I love the card. It's so cool. I mean, it does relevant damage too, even if you're not facing Guardy, like if you're facing Raging Bolt or something. Sometimes you could just you bundle and you get lucky, right? Like they send up Latias, they send up Fez, they send up Ogerpon. Boom, 220 knockout. Area 0 clears everything. It's pretty cool. And also like having that guaranteed nuke potential against literally every card in the game is really, really cool. Like if I save up my prisms or if I play well enough to the point where they have to send out something that nothing else can one shot, I always have Roaring Moon, and that's really cool.
I think it's insane in any matchup that doesn't have Monkey Dory as well, because you can aggressively use it as well.
Exactly, yes.
If you know the deck doesn't run Monkey Dories, you put this forward, you go down to 30 HP, and then you look at them laughing. Like, oh no, you're gonna take 2 prizes. That's what you expect.
Oh, 30 damage. Oh no.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead, do 30 damage, get 2 prizes. I will get my 2 prizes again next turn, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, this card's fantastic. It's highest sizzling probably. With more testing, it might become staple, I guess.
I mean,
But
it solves the Gardy
highest
matchup like
sizzling.
so much too. Like we
Yeah,
haven't even talked about the Gardy matchup. Like that just kills Gardy.
yeah.
And that's one thing the deck has been struggling to do ever since its like creation.
Yep. I think because of 2 Prism, it cannot be staple because it is a
Yeah.
rough cost, but it's as high as sizzling as it can be, I think.
Like we add Durant for specifically the Grimmsnarl and the Charizard matchups anyways, and that card sucked. But this card actually has relevancy outside of the matchup too, along with utility. Like what else could you want from a card?
Roaring Moon, Sizzling, great. Let's talk about his ancient brother, Gouging Fire.
Man, I want this card to be good.
I do too. So bad. I think that's my first thought with it. Like before even going into numbers, I'm so sad that this has been cut from my list. There are just about 3 other cards that I think I would play before it.
Yeah.
It's a similar sentiment to where I think if Raging Bolt became 20% of the meta share, this would probably be correct to play because it is one of our only good early attackers into Bolt that isn't Clefairy or Terrapagos. I think it just gives you a good little early nuke, like a mini nuke. This is a nice little vanilla attacker, but I think unfortunately, as it stands right now, it's outclassed in the it's kind of outclassed by Terrapagos, needing less energy to hit more or less most of the same relevant numbers. Obviously, 240 versus 260 sometimes matters, specifically against Bear. And then it's just outclassed in the late game by Reshiram. It needs the same amount of energy, and it just hits for bigger numbers starting at 3 knockouts. So Gouging Fire fits in this weird middle place where it does what other cards do better sometimes, but worse most of the time. So unfortunately, I think it's been cut from a lot of people's lists, but do you guys have anything to talk about with Gouging Fire?
I think it's a good card. It kind of suffers from the fact we have a box. We are a fire deck, like I said earlier, Exerty Fire G, blah blah blah. But we are a box, so we play a lot of attackers that cover a lot of roles. So we end up not needing this big like vanilla fire type hitter. Because if you want to hit for weakness, we have either Chiyu or Ho or whatever. And if you want to hit for big numbers, 260 is not quite enough. So Reshiram fulfills the big number and half of the Ho or whatever for weakness, right? So this card is very good, but it's left a bit in a question mark of, like Jay said, when is this very good?
In the words of any Deepon in our chat, Unk had a good run. Time for Reshiram.
Yo!
That's
Don't say that
crazy.
about him, bro. I guess he is Unk because he's ancient.
Yes. Formal apologies to She Nasty, who I sold on the deck. Ordered her SIR Gouging Fire, and will probably be very, very saddened to find out that it probably just isn't the best in the deck currently. But if she wants to play it, she can play it. Pretty cards matter too. So as of right now, I think Gouging Fire will go in Undercooked.
I think gouging is good. If somebody plays this, I will not complain about it.
Yeah.
With the undercooked cards, I would consider they're testing. If I see gouging fire, I don't think they're testing. I'm fine with it being there. It's just not needed, right?
I think it's still cooking. Like it's not a bad card. Like the other cards are a bit more situational than gouging fire because gouging fire hitting for 260 is like it's not bad. In a good chunk of matchups.
But a card that's always kind of been compared to Gouging Fire in this deck, and that is the Bear. The Bear has been very contentious. and playing on my stream, I've never been a believer of the bear, but I just ended up cutting it very early and haven't really missed it. But playing a lot of games yesterday, a lot of situations came up where chat was spiting me, where bear would win the game. I fear that it did happen a lot to the point where I am revisiting the bear because just being able to close out game for one energy, it can't be understated that that is an incredibly powerful thing. However, does it compare? Obviously, it fulfills different needs, but we have other cards that are also closers, namely Reshiram, namely if you need a nuke, Roaring Moon. Do you guys have any thoughts on the bear?
I
No.
think I will specifically run the bear because my locals love killing my Armarouges. They don't like the optimal play. They love just gusting killing my Armarouges. So if I'm always in the position where I cannot Armarouge late game, I will just play a bear, sleep nice at night. Good players should not always go for your Armarouge, but yeah, bear is always clutch.
Bear
Like
is really
Fire
clutch,
Chat.
yeah.
Yeah, bear is clutch.
Bear is clutch, but is it clutch enough to make the 60?
I don't have space for the bear, unfortunately. Like, I did see the value on your stream yesterday, and I was like, wow, bear just wins. I think that happened like twice, like 2 games in a row
It happened a
almost,
lot. It
which
was
is
a
really
lot.
funny.
Because in
So,
those situations, Bear would have won that turn, but I think I ended up winning anyway. Because I ended
yeah,
up
I
doing like
did.
Sob or something
Like,
like
if you
that.
just sequence correctly and like know your outs to like how your opponent can win the turn before, then you can play around bear by moving your energy correctly or like attaching to a Terapagos the turn before.
I would much rather play bear than gouging. Also think it's like 61st, 62nd card. So
Yeah,
How about a
it's
card that
close.
a lot of us have cut? And that is Monkey Dory. Do you guys think cutting this is correct, or should it make its way back into lists?
As Monkey Door's biggest like proponent, I think that's the word. Like, I really liked Monkey Door in the previous DRI format, and that's because spread decks were so almost unbearably like having a hold on the meta, right? And also, in the past format, Gholdengo, Archaludon, like those decks didn't really have Air Balloon, and same with like Charizard as well, to where Mind Bend 50/50 was such an insane play that basically just stalled you a turn against most matchups. Nowadays, like Grimmsnarl, Charizard, Gholdengo, all these decks that Mind Bend was really good into, now just all run Air Balloon, and if you Mind Bend, you just lose a turn. Which is why I'm thinking like maybe this card isn't as good. But it also does save you a lot of the time in the Grimmsnarl and Gardevoir matches specifically, and it makes Dragapult really free. So I'm still like on the fence about this card. Yes, this is the best Pokemon card in the game, but does it do enough for us now? I'm not sure anymore. Like, Gholdengo's gone up a lot, Raging Bolt's still a threat, Charizard's coming back really strong, and if they start running Max Belt, we're not gonna be able to like move damage back over to their side. So I don't know.
Yeah, Monkey, I kept running into the issue, even, oh, I guess mostly in the last format, where it's like when I needed it, it was really hard to get it. Because
That's
not only
also
do you
true.
need it, you also have to be able to manually attach from hand. You have to have the Luminous, or in this case, the
Hmm.
Prism, to attach to the Monkey Dory so that even if you do reuse it, the energy that you're attaching to it, it still has to be attached from hand to the Monkey Dory. And like having the sequence of having both the energy and the out to Monkey Dory and the bench space didn't happen very often. It was I have the Luminous and I have the Nest Ball, but I need every zero. So now I have to research
Yeah.
away both of these cards. Hope I hit the exact combo again to get value out of it. So a lot of the time, Monkey was just in the deck. But when I needed it, it was super powerful. To me, Monkey's like my 61st card. Well, I guess Durant was because I added it back. But um, I want Monkey to make its way back into my deck. I just don't know at this exact moment if it will.
Like, if we somehow find that like Grimmsnarl is actually just BDIF because of how neutral of a matchup spread it has against everything, then yeah, we probably should add Monkey Dory back. But overall, like, you need a lot of working components for Monkey Dory to actually come together. If it does happen, it's incredible, and you just win on the spot sometimes. But yeah, and also like losing Mind Bend has been such like a big turnoff for me, where I want to be able to Mind Bend to stall a turn sometimes. Like, maybe I didn't get like my one fire energy that I needed. So I need to like stall just one more turn with Monkey Dory as a mind bend thing so that I could actually get my deck engine going. But now I'm just like, oh, they just air balloon and I don't get a turn. I lose all my energy. Very sad.
Do you know what's better than confusion?
Paralysis?
Paralysis. Yeah, no, I agree with both of you. I think you're spot on with Monkey. It's like a 61st, 62nd card. It's not that good, obviously, in a Raging Bolt Gholdengo matchup, and I found myself very often benching the Monkey preemptively, knowing they, like, for example, in the Pult Zart matchup. I know they could put things on my bench. I want to have Monkey there for later, and then as soon as Area Zero gets popped, Monkey goes, because they never put counters. Like we
Yeah.
have low HP mons, 210, 230. Most decks just run through them. Monkey Dory is only good if they have Monkey Dories, and even then, good players will not leave too many counters for you to move.
Yeah,
So,
I like
yeah.
I liked it specifically in the Gardevoir matchup because if we like turbo too fast, like if we have hands, and then like whatever, then they will most likely mind bend us on the active,
Yeah.
and then that's our damage counters. But now we have
Yeah.
Roaring Moon. We have answers to Gardevoir. So I'm
Yeah.
like, well, okay, so Monkey isn't really necessary in the Gardevoir matchup. What isn't necessary in if or like is good in, which is just Grimmsnarl at the moment and a little bit of Pult. So I don't know. It's like it's losing a lot of its value. Air Balloon again, like I said. We don't need it in Gardevoir anymore. Maybe it's time to retire the card, unfortunately.
You said correctly that is the best printed Pokemon card, but I think that only applies when it's played in a deck where you damage your own Pokemon. Like
Well, I mean,
Frostlass, like Gardy,
it's best in
like
those decks,
Bomb.
yeah.
So
I
if
also
we
Gholdengo
never
stopped running it
damage,
too.
yeah, we
Yeah.
never damage ourselves. We have low HPs, so yeah, it's a undercooking, whatever.
I don't think it's undercooked. It's still like an
It's fine.
incredibly powerful card. But yeah, for me, it's around the 61st card. I might like if I go into locals and I know like 6 people are playing Grimmsnarl, then I'm going to be like, oh, I'll make sure to have Monkey Dory in my deck for the next challenge or something, you know. But if
I
it's
mean,
like 10 people are playing Gholdengo and they all have Air Balloon, I'm like, I'm never putting this card in my deck. Let's go to you.
if the meta is that extreme for it to be played, you just put in like hard counters, like
Yeah.
Cornerstone or something, right? Tapu Koko EX, for
Uh-huh.
example.
Yes, I know you're excited to talk about that.
I think this card is really punishing for the greedy decks that don't run switches, they don't run two rows. And right now, with the air balloon epidemic, there's a lot of decks that don't run switches and don't run two row, or immediately discard their switches and two rows. So this card might be very good. It's so situational and it's such a high risk card because if they have an out, you're giving a two prizer, which Monkey Dory Mindbend wasn't doing, right? Or
Yep.
Iron Bundle with refrigerated stream
Refrigerated Stream.
wasn't doing, yeah. But this card, what's the coolest thing and how the idea of this card even came to mind was that it does 120 damage in retaliation and paralyzes, and 120 damage on a Raging Bolt leaves it on 120 for Wellspring. So that's how the idea popped in my head. The 120 damage can be super good on top of winning a turn. Because if you win a turn with Mindband or if you win a turn with Refrigerated Stream, they will retreat that Pokemon, right? They just won't attack with it.
Yep.
So in this case, it's stuck inactive, it's damaged, and you win a turn. So it's a lot of things going right. It's really punishing and it's really high risk, high reward. Which in some matchups like the Grimmsnarl, that Grimmsnarl runs 0 switches, 0 two rows. This card can be like the match definer.
Yeah, it's if Grimmsnarl gets hit by Vengeful Shock, it might almost be game over sometimes.
Yep. Yep. And Grimmsnarl wants to attack with Grimmsnarl, right?
Yes, it
Gardy
has
doesn't
to.
really want to attack with Gardy, so it's quite hard to catch them because they also run 0 switch, 0 two row. But with Grimmsnarl, you will pretty much guarantee catch them. They will
Yes.
attack with the Grimmsnarl turn 2, right?
Yep.
It
And then it
has
also
no
sets up for like the
ability.
Terapagos turn too after that, in case you like prize Durant. I don't know how much I like it more so than some other things like Durant, Terapagos, and Roaring Moon. But yeah, I think I can see it in or not Citizen Cooking. Like, I like this card more than Ursaluna sometimes, not gonna lie.
This card makes Terrapagos a much better card as well. Because like
It
you said,
does.
the 120 sets Terrapagos to one-shot anything in the game. So all of a sudden your good cards become even better thanks to this card.
Also,
The
if
only
you just
problem,
need a re-attack with it, the second attack does 180. So
Yep.
I guess you could do that too. The only problem that I have with this card is that Monkey Dory is like a really big thing in the meta still. I guess less so now because I think people will have caught on that Air Balloon is just too good. But if you do put 120 damage on them, they do have monkey damage to move back sometimes, which might be relevant in some matchups. So
how about a card that we are all fans of here on the
Minior?
Discord? I can't imagine the deck without it. I'm not gonna lie to you. I love this card so much. What has taken over the most commonly asked question, aside from Regigigas and Blood Moon Bear, is what does the Minior do? The answer is nothing. We just play it because it's a funny card. No, I'm just kidding. The ability, once during this turn, if this Pokemon is on your bench, when you attach an energy card from your hand to this Pokemon, you may switch it with your active Pokemon. Our deck plays plenty of energies, and usually has the bench space to play this. It is basically an answer to Retreat Lock. Maractus, also Sob, since Wellspring Ogerpon is picking up play in both Eevee Box and now Ogre Box. On top of Control, finding the most creative ways on the planet to leave you trapped in the active, whether that be Scovillain with a Festival Grounds or Garganackle Relicanth, whatever. Moral of the story is Retreat Lock is real, and Minior gives us a safe, reusable, and searchable way to get around that. However, one thing I always make sure to know is that's not its only use, because people love to cut the card when they say, oh, Retreat Lock's not really that big of a problem for me. Well, if the opponent ever brings up an Armarouge to snipe around it or stall for a turn, you are always losing 2 energy unless you want to attack with it. With Minior, you don't have to do that. If Latias is in play, Minior shoots himself in the active and retreats for free. Cool, you save energy. On top of that, it helps to reset Mew or Gouging Fire as an attacker if you ever need to reset the attack. If Mew ever copies something like Cardinalian on Flareon, and then you're just stuck with the Mew in the active that can't do anything. But on top of that, it's also a really good attacker into Thorns Crustle. It 2-shots an Iron Thorns if it doesn't have Future Booster Capsule on it. And I believe it's 2-shotting Crustle too, right? Because it's got a forward retreat cost, so it's doing 80. Yeah, it's 2-shotting a Crustle. So it's just a really good attacker in that situation too. I just think Minior offers so much diverse value, and you literally lose games if you do not play it. And I hate losing games, a lot of them, just because I don't play a card, because you can get cheesed really easily with Retreat Lock with this deck, because not everything in your deck can attack. Sorry, I know that was a yap session, but people always ask what the card does, and so I just wanted to give a thorough breakdown of all the value that Minior offers. With that being said, what are your guys' thoughts on Minior?
I personally really like Minior. I've always had it in my deck, and I've always been like a huge proponent of it. I will say though that Retreat Lock is becoming less of a thing for our deck, just because we can attack with almost everything with Prism. Like, you don't want to Squawk Motivate, obviously, because why would you want to only do 20 damage? Yeah, that's basically it. And sometimes Mew if you don't have boss.
Yeah.
Sometimes Mew if you don't have boss. Yeah, but I will say that someone brought it up where what if someone Retreat Locks Minior? And there's exactly one card that can actually Retreat Lock Minior, which is the one that Gabriel Fernandez played in Azul's Invitational, the Scovillain, where if you attached an energy to it to use its ability, it can no longer be burnt, and Scovillain does 0 damage. But everything else, like Sudowoodo, Thanakli Line, Maractus, Wellspring, will all kill this in 2 or 4 turns, which is really, really nice. It can get trapped, but at least you don't get trapped forever. In certain cases where, like, if you get a Monkey Dory on your board and you don't have a retreat lock option, you just get infinite locked by Knackley lines, which is really annoying. So this is basically our one consistent way of getting on retreat lock, which, although it does have its flaws, you need a bench space, and yeah, it can actually get retreat locked itself. I like it. It's a pretty cool card. Also, I like beating Iron Thorns with it. It's really funny. And also one-shots Regigigas, so another dub for the Minior.
I will say I have used Minior at this point probably 60 times. the amount of times it has gotten retreat locked, 0. So I don't think that's enough of a worry. If they manage to pull that off, congratulations to them. But it's just not happening enough, or that's never applying enough pressure to the situation. Like you said, it dies in three. Maractus 2 turns. It dies. It's a good thing that it's fragile. You're not gonna put it in play unless you need it. But it's just such a good option to have. Offers so much value beyond retreat lock. So I just think this card is incredible.
My problem with this is we're not playing Dragapult, Grimmsnarl, Gardy. We're not playing the top of the top, strongest, consistent, whatever decks. We're playing like this bottom A tier, B tier deck that we're trying to make work. We're trying to find a perfect 60. So in my head, I want to play 60 good cards in this deck. Like objectively speaking, good cards. And for me, this Minior is not a good card on its own. You read it and it's not a good, like objectively good card. It's good at blocking retreat lock if you have energy, if you have a bench slot and so on, whatever. With Latias to save energy. But the card itself, I don't think it's ever seen play other than a Snorlax block counter because it one-shotted Snorlax, right? So I would love if we had a different way to not instantly lose to retreat lock. So even just a penny for the Squawk or something might be better, but yeah, we don't have a better option. This is fine. It's funny. So
we just don't have a way to beat Grimmsnarl if they Maractus us. Because
exactly.
Penny's not searchable, Switch isn't searchable by our deck. The only thing that's actually searchable is a Pokemon with Nest Ball. And I think someone said, like, as a control main, I'm really happy. Like, Minior farms control, like especially Spidops control, because you just you do is you go Latias, Minior, Ho-Oh, Armarouge, double attacker, and then you just win. Like it's game over. Like in my league challenge, I went against a Spidops control, and I knew what to set up. I made sure to discard all my Monkey Dories, and everything else that could potentially be trapped, like Mew and stuff, and just won.
Yeah, it makes some control matchups. If you don't prize it, it wins them on the spot, which is
cool. Now Festival Grounds lock, we do lose to that one. Yeah,
that one we do lose to. But it sounds terrifying, so
that one we do lose to. No, that one we lose to 100% of the time.
You're not putting Minior in play until you're getting value from it, right?
Yeah.
At that point, you're not putting your Minior to retreat lock something unless you're able to one-hit KO this Gavillain. It's weak to fire. It only has 260 HP. They don't even need to take prizes. Reshiram is KOing this. Like, the likelihood that you're able to one-hit KO this Gavillain and they have a backup Capsicid, have the energy, countercatcher your Minior, and the Festival Ground. Like, I just think so much things need to go right that, like, I don't know. We're probably not even talking about it like it's a real threat. The Scovillain lock, it's a possibility, but
they do play accompanying flute, and if you bench lock you, and then you to the point where you can't area Zero Slam, you have to bench it early against control specifically because you want to lock your bench against accompanying flute.
I heavily campaign for Minior to be in Sizzling. I like I said, I genuinely cannot see the deck without it.
I'm really biased, and I'm like, every time I try to cut Minior, I always end up bringing it back. I think it's sizzling, but if like enough people say it's cooking, then I'm like, sure, whatever. I'm gonna play it because I don't want to auto lose against retreat lock, and I also want to conserve energy sometimes, especially if I'm not playing like retrieval anymore. I'm playing 4 Night Stretcher, so yeah, I like it in sizzling.
Icarus, do you heavily campaign against it being removed from Sizzling?
No. I think it's Sizzling. I think it's better than Gouging. Is probably better than Tapu Koko. Like I'm fine with it there. If I'm taking this out of my deck, it's a conscious decision that I'm sacrificing the control matchups. Like I'm telling myself, okay, there won't be control of this cup or challenge or whatever, so I'm taking this out. Otherwise, this card has to be in the deck. So.
Yeah, like if Maractus just stops existing from Grimmsnarl like altogether, then I'm perfectly fine with taking Minior out.
Wellspring will never stop existing. That's the thing, and Sob blocking is really strong. So
that is true. Yeah.
And
we'll see. It's a really bad meta call.
Yeah, Sob is in not in control decks, right? You play it in Eevee Box and stuff, so
yeah, Eevee Box this deck,
and then
you Iono them. Yeah, you Iono them. They whiff because that's what they do after Iono. So they attach Sob Prey, and if you lose to that, you are in a bad position. So
yes,
sure.
So now let's talk about one card that has this used to be in Was it Cooking?
It was
Chi Yu
Cooking.
used to be in
Both of
Cooking.
them.
But both, yeah, they were both together because we said, hey, if you want to play a baby attacker, it seems pretty good. Which one? That's up to you. But I think one has kind of risen above the other. Chi Yu, the rise of
Is it
Gholdengo. Wait, what's up?
is is it the card that takes less energy, does more damage, and has another useful like second attack?
Wow, who would have thought?
No way!
I don't know. There's the people who believe in Ho-Oh believe in Ho-Oh. There's one specific person who repeatedly brings up Ho-Oh, so I want to at least give it the dignity of discussing it. Why Ho-Oh is just a worse card than Chi-Yu. I mean, you hit on it there. It really does come down to it. It's being able to
It's worse in every aspect.
being able to manually retreat to Chi-Yu and make it a threat without even needing Armarouge in play is insane. It just it's a single prizer. 110 isn't a terrible amount of HP. Flarebringer is incredibly clutch sometimes, and it just you kind of need it in the Dango matchup.
Yep.
Dango matchup without Chiyu is like almost 50-50 even because of how consistent their deck is and how much boss and Turo and like they just get set up every single time. You need Chiyu loop against Gholdengo or else you have a not as good of a time as you think you do.
I think the whole card is just not good in general. Like even if Chiyu wasn't it, I don't like this all. The only positive it has is that it's 130 HP, but then you lose that because it's weak to electric. So it still
Yeah,
gets
you
amped.
can still get amped.
It still gets amped. So there's no 200 damage is quite irrelevant compared to 160 or 150, whatever Chiyu does.
140.
So yeah.
140.
So with that being said, I think Ho-Oh, I think it's chopped. I'm sorry, especially now that we're playing Chi-Yu. For sure, Chi-Yu is going no lower than Sizzling, and unfortunately, I don't think you ever play the two. So I think Ho-Oh is chopped. Do you guys agree?
Yeah.
Yep.
All right,
I
so
don't.
that
I've never
leaves.
liked Ho-Oh, dude. Like shout out to Chiyu, my goat right there.
I had the baby gouging fire in front of the hoe, if I remember correctly.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't remember the card, but I think I liked it more than the hoe even.
It's if your opponent has taken four, or if your opponent has 4 or less prize cards remaining, do 170 instead.
Yeah, so it's straight up better.
Yeah.
That being said, and keep in mind we are taking into account the meta here. Where does Chi-Yu go?
I think it's sizzling in this meta specifically.
Not stable.
I don't think it's.
Oh,
Mm. I think with how you define staple,
That's
Chiyu is
true.
sizzling.
Sizzling. You're right.
It's
You're right. You're right.
yeah.
yeah, I agree. I agree.
If we take meta into account for everything, probably Terrapagos and Moon move up a slot as well, or even
And
Durant.
Durant
So
also, yeah, even Durant moves up a slot.
True. True.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think staple should be across metas, right?
Actually, I guess Clefairy technically should be like sizzling instead, but like I think
Mhm.
Drag. Actually, no, it's still a good attacker because it's full moon rondoing for like
Yeah,
280
Clefairy's-
sometimes.
Yeah. Even
Clefairy's
if
chill,
Dragapult
yeah.
wasn't a meta deck, I think I'd still play Clefairy.
I would
Clefairy
too.
is a
Like,
very good attacker, yeah. Even
yeah,
if you find space for Pearl, like we've been discussing, Clefairy becomes really important.
yeah. It's basically Terrapagos 2.0, and Terrapagos is already good. It just has an added
Yeah.
benefit.
Sweet. And then I guess technically the last card. I mean, we could open up afterwards, but Precious Trolley. The reason I put this on here is because the second highest placing list from the Game Smart tournament was a trolley build. Now they did play Arvin, so I think it's in that kind of same place that Lily's Pearl was, where it's like if you're playing that version of the deck, Trolley could be better. Maybe we don't even talk about it because it is just different, unless you guys have something to say about Trolley.
I haven't tested. I do believe it will be good. Arven is a really strong card. Troll is a really strong card, but we need to play to see which one is better, right? And I haven't.
Yeah, I don't like Trolley. Like, especially like playing stuff like Pidgeot control and like Spite Ups control. Like,
Mhm.
being able to get turn 2 Trolley is fairly inconsistent unless you start adding like Petrels or something. And I do not want to do that to the deck. Especially like if you start cutting like Nest Balls or even Ultra Balls or other stuff to like try to get this Trolley to work. It still feels a little underwhelming. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of the card. And also, if you get item locked, you just lose. And I don't like losing to just item lock, you
Very
know?
true.
It forces the deck to go second in a meta where 90% of decks want to go second.
Exactly, yeah.
So if you play the Arven Trolley build, going first hurts a lot And right now,
Yeah.
our deck can go first or second quite comfortably in almost every matchup. So
I feel okay. I don't want to put it into chopped because obviously we won't play
It's
it
not
because we play a
chopped.
different
Yeah.
version.
no,
It's
it's
just
fine.
undercooked. We've seen one list do well with it, so I think it has potential. I think if, people find success with it,
Mhm.
it could be worth revisiting. But I think as of right now, maybe we keep trying Legacy.
Yeah. Or maybe the Secret Box of Prime Catcher. Like those are potential good cards.
Yeah.
Yep. I think Secret Box,
Especially if we have Chi-Yu like being a menace, and maybe even Lily's Pearl,
the Secret Box
Ooh.
deck, I think did the best today in the late night. Let me double check. Yeah. There's two 5/2s right now. 5/2/0. One is running Secret Box. The other one is running Legacy.
Okay.
Mhm.
Oh, and
Yeah.
Terrakion actually is running Terrakion and Tapu Koko EX. Who's this guy? Holy shit!
Oh, this
You
is
know?
the weird guy. Yeah, I know this guy. He's in Azul stream a lot.
Oh.
It's Dragon Bane. It's his name. I don't
Yeah,
know
yeah,
him.
yeah. He's in Azul stream a lot. He likes to play these like weird single prize versions. Like you can see there's no Iron Hands even in that deck.
What I care most is why does he play my Tapu Koko EX? That's
Yes,
crazy.
this is more of like
But
a
yeah.
very like varies like single
Yeah.
prize focus, like disrupt the prize trade as much as you can type of style of deck.
Yep. Chi-Yu,
Which
Terrakion, Ho, Iron
yeah,
Bundle, Legacy.
yeah,
Yeah, I can see it.
yeah. So if you're like committing to the bit, then
That's
it
pretty cool.
works. Like it exists. Yeah.
Oh,
It's pretty cool. I like seeing that.
Yeah.
But yeah, the other 5/2 is Secret Box with 2 Arvens,
Will
3
Azul
Air
DD raid.
Balloons.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
Ayo!
Really? No way. No way. No. Azul, thank you, man. Holy moly, 368 people is insane. Thank you so much, Azul. We have been discussing for the past 3 hours now Armarouge box. We've been cooking it. We're big fans of the deck. I know a lot of you saw Azul playing it earlier on stream, and he not the biggest fan of the deck, but he says it's got merit and we enjoy playing it. So if you guys also enjoy the deck and you want to try it out, we are discussing it. We literally broke down every single matchup, every single possible attacker in the deck. We just finished up actually the tier list.
Well, we were just talking about the ace packs, but yeah, they're the same as Trolley probably.
Yeah,
I think
'cause we
Secret
were
Box has a
visiting
little bit
lists.
more merit, to be honest, just because you're able to find like what is it? Research Area Zero, whatever tool card you run, which it can be like Bravery Charm, EXP Share, Lily's Pearl, and then item card, which is usually like Nest Ball or even Earthen Vessel, which is pretty good. So I think there's some merit to it. And also like if you do run Secret Box, you can run some really weird techs with like Gravity Mounting Jamming Tower potentially, or even Rocket's Watchtower. So it's really interesting overall to think about Secret Box as your ace spec. But you do lose out on Legacy energy, which I'm not a big fan of. So maybe you try to go deeper into like the single prizers as a way to bypass that.
The list that's doing well in the tournament, I see runs very few attackers. It's literally just the
The
main guys,
basics.
like
Whoa.
water,
That's
grass,
wild.
fire, psychic,
Kenny!
etc.
Oh, there's no Latias. That's interesting.
Yeah, they
That's
got 3
wild.
balloons.
3 air balloons.
Also 0 boss. Oh no, 2 boss. The other one was running 0 boss.
Zero Area Zero as well. So
Hatsuki.
this is the Trust Your Pilot's like wet dream of we don't want to run Area Zero anymore.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, this list is wild. I don't know if I'll be testing that one out.
I mean, this is like the classic Arvin build, isn't it? Like you run to Arvin to find your secret box and you research Iona deep into to get it.
True.
And then
Yeah,
they're only playing the
Tatsugiri.
necessary attackers.
Not even Poffin
As
to just grab
yeah.
Joker Nets or anything. All right, cool. So, I mean, hey, I think we pretty much covered everything. We've got a lot of people here. We at the end of the discussion, so I don't want to keep them, in the dark for too long. So I think I'm gonna hop into some gameplay after this. But I appreciate you guys coming on here and talking Armarouge box. Like I said, I'll get the VOD edited later tonight and up on my YouTube channel, so I'll be sure to blast that. Any closing thoughts you guys just want to share before we close this out?
Play Roaring Moon. Roaring Moon's broken. Let's go.
Real. And
agree.
Sigilith. No, but
Yo,
thank you
let's
for
go.
having
It's
me.
true.
Thank you
Oh,
for
that's
having me. This was super helpful, super fun. Yeah. And yeah, good luck with the games.
Thank you.